welcome to the Kind of Sort of Maybe show. We got a special show for 2017. Whoa, 2016's over. Woo! All right. Woo. What a great year, everyone.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Horrible. It's
The whole year's gone. So 2017, and for 2017, we got something special planned. It's kind of been since we first started. Perla, our only viewer, has commented. Number one fan commented on there, and she wanted to put the show together for a Harry Potter discussion. So I've been watching these movies religiously, and we've been excited. Claudia has not, and
She's not true. No, she's still the number one Harry Potter fan
between
all of us. Between the four of us.
And again, let's go with introductions. My name's Jim. We have
Perla,
Claudia, and Melinda.
Yeah, so hopefully everything comes out okay. We're shooting on an iPhone. We're trying we got a lamp over here for light and all this kind of stuff. So, let's get into it. Harry Potter, finally. 8 movies? What?
8 movies. Seven books, 8 movies.
7 books, 8 movies, yeah. So when did you guys first start watching Harry Potter? When did you first get into Harry Potter?
When it came out.
When it came out, yeah. How old were we?
Yeah.
2001.
2001.
Was the first book?
The first movie.
Oh, when did the first book come
1996, I believe.
Okay, how about you? Same thing?
Elementary. I was in 2nd grade.
Okay.
I had all the stickers on my notebooks. It was the best.
And
yeah, I mean, it was around that time. I remember that when I had read the book when it came out. Well, around the time that it came out. But when I really started getting into it was, of course, after the film came out. But I remember reading the book and writing I guess most of it on our way to Disney World for the first time. And I don't remember what year that was, but I remember actually reading it and through chapter by chapter, just writing it down so I could soak in all the magic.
As Melinda does.
Plagiarism.
No.
Writing on books.
In case she time traveled, she could say she wrote it.
Oh, yes, I did that.
Okay, Mom and Dad, look what I wrote.
A beautiful, intricate story about it.
His name's Larry Potter.
Larry Motter.
Larry Motter.
Totally original.
No, but it wasn't for that. I just wanted to soak in. I wanted to remember every detail about it. So that's what I did.
That was your thing? Okay.
That was my thing.
And there was a first book, and then how long did it take for the second one to come out? A couple of years, or do you guys remember?
I'm not sure. I think a couple years. Well, I did see the documentary where it kind of explained as she was writing.
The Lifetime one?
Yeah, one on Netflix. And I remember that she was she had all the ideas for all the books already, since the beginning, since the inception of the story, she knew it. And then she wrote the first one and she sent it out, and she was still working on the second one as she was getting rejected and rejections and
she got from the dozens and dozens of rejections.
She did get rejected hundreds of times.
Yeah.
But she just kept going, and finally one of the publishing companies finally really got into it and decided to publish it. And it just became a worldwide phenomenon. She started selling like crazy, became bestsellers, and everybody wanted the second one.
And even now she is the first author to become a billionaire, which is insane. I mean, you don't hear authors, becoming billionaires, but I mean,
isn't Stephen King a billionaire?
She was the first one though. Right? I think for the first female or something like that. She was the first female author to become a billionaire, which is insane.
And I think it was really fun, going back to the female author, how she decided to just put her initials in the film, in the movies.
As she wrote it, yeah. Well, because she had her name, but the publisher, when they were going to publish it, they told her female authors don't. No one wants to buy them.
So
males won't do it. So and the K is not even hers. It's her grandma's.
It's her grandma's
name.
So it's not even a part of her real name.
No,
but she just thought it sounded good. It had a good
it's funny. I've heard of a lot of authors that do that as well, where they
under a pseudonym and
put in a fake initial.
And she I think she did release a couple of books
under her name. Yeah, she did. Yeah, it was a mystery detective type series where she. But the reason that it came out though was because the publisher or I guess her manager, someone let it slip to the wife of the friend at a party. And when she found out, she was pissed. She was so mad because she wanted to know if her writing outside of Harry Potter could make it on its own. But after people found
Harry
out,
Potter was
but that was
finished,
after Harry
right?
Potter.
She wanted to know if people could make it if her writing could make it outside of
not
Harry
just
Potter.
Because of her
not just
Potter
because
name.
people are gonna buy it because it's
Of her
J.K.
name.
Rowling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Very cool.
Did
That's
it
super
make
interesting. I remember hearing about that.
It got famous when
people found out it was
let it
her.
slip.
Yeah, I remember
and
hearing
that's not
that
what she wanted.
controversy.
She wanted to know if it
if
could
her
make
writing could stand on its own,
Right.
which is something. I mean, I guess somebody would want to prove to
Mm-hmm.
themselves. But to the films, like with me, I was not really. I was a little older, so I was like, I'm old.
A lot older.
Like,
You're probably like a creepy teenager.
You were a teenager, probably.
No, he was like in college.
2001. Where were you?
in 2001, I had just graduated from
That's when the
high
first
school.
film came out. Okay, so
yeah.
you
Yeah.
What?
you were college. You were gonna be a college student. Okay.
So yeah, I was in college, and so I was a little older too. Like I was old for the books, I think. But like when the movies came out, I know like my sister-in-law.
Never old for the books.
I know. And one day I do want to read them. I want to read them with my kids and stuff. But
So to this point, you have not read a single book.
I have not read a single book.
Have you?
The first one in the restroom.
How long were you in there?
Hours.
That was where I got my daily reading. Back when I wasn't suffering from stool problems.
Why, Claudia?
No, seriously, I think I read like half of the Sorcerer's Stone. But I read it.
Well,
I think it's really cool. I
Bonus
have like a coworker that she had never like read the books, right? But the way she decided to read the books is she started reading the book and then watching the movie, reading the second book
For the
watching
first
movie
time? Oh, that would be
she
a
had
fun
watched the movies
experience.
before, but like she had never read the book, so she wanted to read and kind of be able to see every single one. Like as she was, and I was there with her like that summer when she was reading. She was like on her fifth. She's like, yeah, I'm almost done. I can watch the fifth movie now and then move on to the sixth. And she did finish it. And I thought that was really cool.
That would
you
be
might
a
want to
fun-
try that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a fun way
But
to.
sometimes you set yourself up for disappointment. Like
You always do.
like
Oh, I know. and
Twilight,
especially-
you know?
You.
Back to Twilight.
Bring this one up.
When we watched this video,
Oh,
when
Inferno.
you said
Okay,
Twilight, they're like,
Inferno.
both of you cringed.
Please
I
don't
think
bring
Okay,
that up in here.
another one, Inferno. Inferno,
Yeah, okay.
like you read the book and it's amazing, and then you watch the movie and they left out some
I
things.
mean, movies are hard,
But
but they're
and you're gonna
limited
see that a
time.
lot, especially
Harry Potter.
with Harry Potter.
I think that
There's
is in every
That's
in
book
every
franchise,
medium.
every medium.
Yeah.
Like it.
you get coming from someone who has to read the book before they see the movie. You're gonna see a movie and you're gonna be like,
It's always
why?
a disappointment,
No.
but then they do
But-
keep stuff
Yeah.
very much like
and
The
I
same,
points,
and
yeah,
yeah.
Hunger Games wasn't the same. Like
No,
I felt like
I
the
know,
first
it wasn't.
that one hurt me too.
Yeah.
because I was a huge fan of the book.
I read all of those.
I gave
Yeah.
you guys
that for
for
Christmas.
Christmas. That was the first
yeah.
book. I
And
gave
that's
that to
when
you
I
guys
first
years
read it,
ago
yeah.
when
Which
it
one?
just first came out.
The Hunger Games. Yeah,
Okay.
she gave me the book for
Oh,
Christmas,
okay.
and that's when I read
The
it.
first one. I gave it
So,
to like a group of
I
friends.
haven't watched the last two movies, so please no spoilers on those.
Okay, that's
Oh,
another
that was
podcast.
my
next
That's another podcast.
Okay, let's
go
back
but
to-
going back
Okay,
to Harry
Harry
Potter,
Potter.
I find that with the books, while they do miss, hello Pablo.
Shout out Pablo.
Shut up, Pablo. Okay, so going back to the books, I feel like while Harry Potter and the book and a lot of the movies are different, you still get a lot of the magic though, because in the they left out Peeves. Let's say like Peeves is a character that came out in every
never
single
heard of
book. He didn't come out in any film.
Nobody
In any
that hasn't read the books will know who
people who
he
didn't
is.
read the books, they don't know who Peeves is.
He
He
was,
was in every book.
and he was such a funny, rich character. He was
a
basically
poltergeist. He was a polter-
Fred and George's like best friend.
Oh, really?
Basically,
Right.
he was a
Okay.
little ghost.
He was a poltergeist that he didn't haunt the school, but he kind of like wreaked havoc around. Like he just did a bunch
he
of
was
pranks and
a
like,
jokester.
He was a
prank-
jokester.
He was basically Fred and George combined. Like
As a
And a
ghost.
poltergeist, yeah,
the
the
Weasley
ghost.
brothers.
yeah.
And he was. You never heard of? You didn't see him in the
And
movies.
he had so many good like one-liners.
One-liners, yeah.
So many good like. And he like did so many bad things to like all the ones that were like
The
Umbridge.
bad
He did
guy.
bad things for
Yeah.
Umbridge, bad things to Snape. Like he did like
like
really funny
sneaky stuff.
really
Yeah, that
sneaky
you
funny
never
stuff.
that you didn't get to see in the films. But
And that was
Is there a
still-
reason why he was left out?
It probably
It-
didn't add too much. It was like
would-
for the comic.
he- yeah, it was.
relief or
It's not.
something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not. Yeah,
Side
because he didn't come
stories.
out a lot.
Yeah.
He just. But he
But he
came out
had
in every
some really
single film, and he
funny-
had some
every single
funny.
book, yeah.
in every book he had like a funny Peeves
bit or like
he had a
oh
fun-
Peeves,
Yeah, like that Peeves.
that Peeves, and I always wanted to see how he looked.
Me too. Because you
Always.
imagine him, but you can't.
We didn't.
You didn't get to see him
we
the
didn't
way we
get
got to see like nearly headless Nick and like all those
Yeah.
characters.
All the other
you know,
All those classics.
all those
classics.
classics. I know.
I'm
But
sorry. So a lot of those characters, that you were supposed to kind of like research them or be fans of the book, because some of these, I think they assumed that you knew a little bit. There was some prior knowledge that you needed to know already with
So,
a lot of these movies.
with the latter
as far as
films,
that.
with
Yeah.
the
Yeah, like
because
because at
at
the
the
beginning they tried to introduce everything and explain it as much as they could.
And that was a different it's like when I saw the first one and the second one, they had a different tone than when the third one hit.
Well, also because it was a
different director.
Different director. And I think they were going for a different kind of...
And it was getting darker as it went. And the tone
Prisoner of
changes.
Azkaban was a lot darker than the first two were.
And then the fourth one just got dark.
Really
like,
dark.
Like
really-
murders everywhere.
And the fifth, that one is like the most depressing book. So it's like this, like the most serious film for sure.
Oh man,
It's depressing, super depressing.
I know. I just thought of that one scene, and now I got sad again.
Yeah.
Well, like with the first movie, I thought it was really funny watching that, and as a parent, seeing Harry living in a closet under the stairs or
That
whatever.
part is,
It's
I
child
know,
abuse.
so
Child
sad.
abuse. I was like, where were Child Protective Services? You know,
I don't know, but it's just. But
Fun
it's,
trivia for Claudia and Jim. Where did he live? What was his address?
oh, that was an easy one. It's all over
But-
the
And,
envelopes.
and a number also. So so the name
Address.
and the number. Yeah, so his
false.
address.
Phone a friend.
Wrong.
No,
It was on so many. Like they had like
It was everywhere.
thousands of
got all the S's and all the
I don't
letters.
know. Are they paying attention?
I don't know.
it was
What is it?
4 Privet Drive.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
Privet.
Privet
That's
Drive.
right. Don't remember.
4.
That.
It was 4 Privet Drive. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was under
Fail,
the,
guys.
in the closet.
Negative points.
I think like that like beginning of that first film is like the part of like the snake and like the envelopes and when he's trying to catch it's the most magical
That's-
like scenes
yeah.
that just like instantly it just
It grabs you because
It grabs you,
I
for sure.
watched before this podcast. I watched the first 6 just to refresh my memory because I mean I watch them all the time, but I like to watch them
Most
straight,
recently,
especially
yeah.
during the Christmas because I
The Christmas
associate
time.
Harry Potter
the
with
Christmas time with
Christmas,
Harry
yeah.
Potter. Yeah, and so when I was watching them and I rewatched that first film, I'm like, this film is so magical, and out of all 8 films, this ranks in my like
nothing
top
compares
2
to, like,
favorite
the
films because
first
it's
one, yeah.
so you feel the magic, you feel like happiness when I watched it and I just had like a smile on my face because it took me back and it just made me happy.
and I think it's so cool how like Harry Potter also has a lot of things that just become like instant classic like either one-liners or either like things kind of like there's no post on Sundays like,
Yes, they
it's
become
kinda like,
memes.
yeah they become memes and like people just like always like that's how there's never mail on Sundays
Yeah.
because
of
of
Harry Potter.
Oh,
that's
really?
how
He taught
I
me-
learned it
That's how I learned
just-
it too.
I'm like, on
Is there
Sundays,
mail?
the-
Nope, Harry Potter taught me no.
Harry Potter
Really?
told me
That's
that
how
the
you
mail
learned
is
it?
closed on
Yeah.
Sundays
I just
yeah
thought it was a life thing.
Sundays.
well, it teaches
No,
you
yeah.
life stuff
Lessons,
since
okay.
you're young life
Shout out
Yeah.
Uncle Vernon. He's not with us anymore.
Oh, the actor is not with
Oh.
us anymore, but
Who was that? Oh,
That's
the
Uncle
Uncle
oh,
Vernon, yeah,
his,
the actor is
uncle.
not here.
That's
And
right,
also,
that's right.
yeah, this like in memory of
Everyone,
in
oh,
memory of
memoriam.
everyone. I know
Alan
Alan
Rickman, our
Rickman.
snake.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was really
And
cool.
McGonagall?
No, she's still alive.
Don't she's still
No, she passed away.
No, Claudia.
What was that fake news?
No,
It's
no fake news.
Don't jinx.
That got me again.
No, she's a warrior. She survived cancer.
She's a breast cancer survivor.
Okay.
She's
while filming
okay.
Harry Potter.
While filming
So,
Harry
like,
Potter, she wore a
kudos to
wig in
her.
the last film.
She is
How is that she
very,
passed away?
very
No.
brave, strong lady.
She's
a true
amazing.
Gryffindor.
She's a true Gryffindor. Please don't. She needs to last forever. Don't. There's a few days
Maggie
in
Smith.
2016.
No.
There's a few
Maggie
names
Smith
in
will
2016.
You
Don't
mean
jinx
it's already
it.
2017?
Oh, I mean
and nobody else
2017,
died. So,
Oh yeah,
Thanks, Melinda.
yeah. So Harry has a lot of gold for some reason. Also, his parents left.
His parents, yeah.
Crap load of gold. Okay.
yeah. His,
I don't know. Probably Roma.
his
cartels
family
or
was
something.
well off,
Harry Potter.
and
The what? What'd you say?
Like,
She's
they're
from
probably
Roma
related
too.
to the Roma cartels.
Roma. We'll stick together, Romanians.
Do you bury your money in Roma too, Perla?
It's a
I don't know. It's from nowhere.
That's Claudia
The bank
bullies
of
everyone.
Pinocchios.
It's not me. Yeah, so a couple of other things. I know that it came on, I guess, into the later films. Oh, there was also the unicorn in the first one.
Yes.
With the whole. So was that
blood.
Voldemort eating
Yes,
like
it was
the unicorn?
Voldemort.
Oh,
So
yeah.
What was his
apparently,
form?
so unicorn blood is supposed to have like
Healing
healing
powers.
powers.
Yeah.
So if you drink it, but the thing is, it has its side effects though.
Right.
So if you drink it, you become
It's
like it's
dark.
kind of like it makes you.
It brings out the darkness
evil,
in
the
you
darkness in
because
you.
unicorns
Are
are
so
so pure that if you take the life of something so pure, like you, I mean, it turns you bad. It makes
the dark
evil.
side.
To the dark
To the dark
side,
side.
yeah.
It turns into the dark side. And then you kind of also become like binded to it, so you always have to. That's the only way
You
you'll
become
survive.
addicted. Yes,
You become
have
addicted. It's
to
kind of like
have
an
it.
addiction.
Yeah.
You have to have it to survive.
Yes.
So,
Because it's only a temporary.
so that was him feeding to like heal himself or whatever.
Yes.
But his form was in the back of the head of the guy, right? Of the professor or something
Yes.
like that. So was
Yes.
that the professor eating that at that point? Like him going out there? It was, right?
No, it was Voldemort's side of the head, like kind of like.
Oh,
the
okay,
back.
okay. So it was he would take control or whatever.
He basically bind it with Voldemort to like be able for him to be able.
Which brings me to another thing. So how did he die in the first place? So when he did when he went and killed Harry's parents, right? And
rest in peace.
Yeah,
Lily and James.
Lily and James.
R.I.P.
And it like bounced back or whatever, and made Harry a Horcrux. I have trouble with that one. And it made him that. What happened to Voldemort at that time? When did he die? The first time. Did they ever? So
the thing is, since he had like left his soul in different Horcruxes, he never he didn't truly die. There was always a piece of him still alive.
So,
he disintegrated.
At that point, that's when he disappeared as well.
When it bounced back,
at that point when he tried to kill Harry and it didn't work, that's when he
it kind of
It kind of like made him super vulnerable and like made him like a weird like
the weird
fetus. Like very like horrible little thing, and so he like escaped. That's how he like disappeared, and they never heard of him back.
So he was gone for 10 years.
And he survived on the unicorn's blood, and then when he met the professor, that's when they decided to kind of bind forces.
So he was a physical being. Always after that spell, whatever blew up, he was a physical being.
He's still a being, but it was like a very like deteriorated, destroyed thing.
Nothing.
Like in Goblet of Fire, when he was still that fetus.
That
thing. They put him in the.
So he always needed to be cared. Right, he had to be cared for it, and that's why he had the unicorn blood, and he always had followers.
Somebody that they kind of aided him.
So that was one thing that I don't think.
And he wasn't. The thing is, he needed like in the Goblet of Fire, he needed either the sacrifice of like his followings, and he needed some of Harry's blood. Like he needed all these different
these ingredients to make him a full blown Voldemort.
Again,
Voldemort.
The T is supposed to be silent.
Yeah. So then there were some other things that I thought it was funny at the end of that first movie, where Dumbledore like lets Slytherin win, and then he like takes away the coins.
He's like.
I feel like they always make fun of that. Like
there's so many memes on Tumblr.
So many memes like it's like Hufflepuff's like found this, and like Slytherins we were able to solve this blah 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 riddle, and then it's like but Harry had an adventure.
151 points.
The last 10 points.
There's no rubric for that. It's not even fair.
It's just points.
I feel bad for everyone.
Favoritism. I would have really liked to see is like the houses, how they're supposed to be like stones, right? Like collected.
The glasses, the jars.
There's some huge jars, and that's how the points collected.
Have like little, and you see that
gems, gems that add up, and you can get to see
that's how you see who has the winners.
Like throughout the whole year, because every time they go like 10 points, they actually keep
so you see it
like some magical way, like they keep like adding up. And funny thing, in the first movie they do have it, but it's only like kind of in the background, and nobody like notices it. It's kind of like in a deleted scene.
The fans would know.
They would know what that is, like that. You the different colors.
And if you guys did you guys ever do Pottermore?
The who?
No. So Pottermore is this website that J.K. Rowling launched 2011.
Summer 2011.
Summer 2011. Our
when the last film came out.
Yeah, when the last film came out, and it was this full-blown website where you took this super 30-minute quiz to determine what your house was. So the houses are Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. And it didn't determine your Patronus, right?
No, not yet.
No, but it
became a new thing
later. Yeah, it's a new thing. And it also gave you these deleted scenes and extra notes and everything, more information that you wanted into the Harry Potter world that J.K. Rowling would share.
It would give you everything you ever needed to know.
It was you just kept learning.
But it was official. It was an official.
It was done by her.
Official. Like she did it.
Pottermore by J.K.
J.K. Rowling. Yeah, so like she helped with the quiz and she did. I mean, she did everything. Cool. Yeah, and so like what you did, like everything that you were getting was legit. It was canon, and it was just so good just to keep, after all the years it had ended, you just kept getting more information.
The thing is, she just like wrote so much background information and story to everything. From the history of the wizarding world to like the history of Hogwarts to the history of each character and like the family brand, like
and
the tree and like in the future of each like family, each wizarding family, like there was so much detail that went into it that she's like, I need to give this.
How do I get this out? Because I'm not going to write more books.
So in that one we get to see like the backstory as to like why the Aunt Petunia and like the mom don't get along.
Yes.
Like what happened between them that made them like be upset at each other. Like
because
the history between each character.
You see it in the first film that
you get to know the story behind every character. You get to see like the future of every character. Like
that's right.
You get to learn.
You learn more.
Everything.
Yeah.
Almost everything J.K. Rowling ever wrote.
It's
or
awesome.
imagined.
That's something that you don't get with a lot of other worlds in fiction. Star Wars and stuff is all done by.
Can you imagine a Star Wars website? That'd be amazing.
Well,
like to find out if you're good or like evil.
Well, like there's like the Wikipedia.
The Sith or Jedi.
There's like Wikipedia, but it's unofficial.
It's not nothing is like actually done by the author. And
and it says like this is fan based or like it says there, but like
this expanded universe.
Right.
Everything in that website
and it's legit.
So basically, it's the most official way of being sorted into a house and knowing that legitimately like.
Yeah. So speaking of that, let's take a quiz to find out what house we're in. Oh, before that, you guys know what the houses are, right?
Mm-hmm. You just
okay. And do you
guys? No, but like what they mean.
No. Do you guys know what?
So do you guys know what you'd associate yourself with?
Which house?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Gryffindor, the people who are Gryffindor are associated being brave. They're being brave, courageous. Well, that's the same thing.
Chivalrous,
strong. They're a lot of
daring, courage,
stuff like that. What is he? What is he doing?
He's hiding.
What is he doing? Okay, and so Hufflepuff, their friendship, they're loyal. Are you laughing at me?
Oh.
Why is he laughing at me?
I was just trying to make you laugh. That's all.
So
they're kind, they're friendly, they're loyal, and they're honest.
Yes, Ravenclaw. They love to learn. They are very creative. They have a big imagination. And then what am I missing?
Wisdom.
Slytherin. No, I'm missing Slytherin.
And Slytherin.
Slytherin is cunning and ambitious. Okay. So they're not necessarily evil. It's just that they want to do what they can to get what they want.
Get ahead, to become leaders.
What was Hufflepuff? I don't think you mentioned
Yes, Hufflepuff is loyal.
Loyal.
They're very. She's Hufflepuff. They're very loyal. They love friendship and they value kindness above everything. And they're very good finders.
And they're really good finders.
Really good finders.
No, that's an inside joke.
That's an inside
joke. A very part of musical. You need to watch it.
Which I've talked about, you jerks.
I know, but I wanted to watch all the movies and then have this.
Okay, now you can.
So basically, like these are kind of just like characterizations that like you associate with this houses.
So you can
be
other ones. So like if I'm like I associate myself as a Ravenclaw, but I know that I have Hufflepuff tendencies and I have a lot of Hufflepuff
and it doesn't
traits.
necessarily like mean that if you're a certain way you're this house. It's way above beyond, and there's so many different characters that are Gryffindor that end up being evil. There's a lot of Slytherins that are kind.
Yeah,
there are Hufflepuffs that are brave and it's just kind of like
you don't have to take it full on to heart, but
plus when they put the hat on, like you have you can suggest what you want to be.
You can
choose,
but
he takes it into consideration. Yeah,
but these are just things that are mainly associated with each house. So don't think that
take
these are
it
the
to
only
heart.
ways.
Because since it started, I have taken so many quizzes, and I've basically gotten all of them, but I don't think I've ever gotten Slytherin. But I've gotten Hufflepuff, I've gotten Gryffindor, and I've gotten Ravenclaw, but the most that I get is Ravenclaw, and I associate myself as a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Probably Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I mean, I took it and I was a Slytherin, but I don't see myself. I can't see myself as a Slytherin.
Because that's when you first took one with Pottermore. So she was first associated with the Slytherin, but she is not Slytherin at all.
I mean, I could be. Ambitious.
You're
determined, but I honestly, like, what everybody tells me is that I'm a Hufflepuff, and I've come to embrace it and realize, I am. I care more about, like, kindness and friendship and, hard work.
Yeah. And me, because, the way Pottermore worked is that you had to get a magic quill as an email before you could take the quiz. Perla was the first one to get the quill, so she took it before I did. When I got it, and Perla had already been sorted into Slytherin, I got scared. I'm like, I don't want to be Slytherin. And so I changed some of them. I kind of altered my answers. I'm like, I don't want to get Slytherin. And I altered them, and I ended up getting Hufflepuff. And I'm like, I was too nice in my answers. But I retook it, and I'm like, I need to be completely honest. And then after I took it on Pottermore again, I got Ravenclaw.
That's interesting. That's cool.
So don't
take it. Is that what we're gonna do right now?
We're gonna take it right now.
Don't try to make it biased though. Like,
right.
Don't.
You want to be a certain way. way.
Yeah, be as honest as you can.
So
So
where
you're
is
gonna
it?
read the questions?
I'll
Yeah,
read
read the
them
questions
out
now.
so we can see.
Just
what
make sure
we're
everybody
taking.
logs.
All right, where's this at? In...
She sent
Did
you
I?
a message.
We're just gonna take a
Okay,
random
there it is.
BuzzFeed
The
quiz.
first
It's not like the
First-
official
okay.
Pottermore one. So this is
Because
not.
the official Pottermore is like 30
It's
minutes.
30
so that
minutes
we would
long.
spend
It's
the whole,
really?
It's
we would
super
spend the
long.
whole podcast.
The whole podcast, yeah.
And
So
those
this
are
is-
really intricate questions. But this one has a
Super-
few good
The
ones.
one on Pottermore is like you're walking in a
wow.
road and you see
Already
a
forgot.
path this way filled with this and this and this, and you see a path this way with this and this. Which road do you take? And so like you have to think about
Super,
it. It's
super,
super
like-
intricate, super detailed, and
Like
you really think
have
about
to know
it.
yourself
That's
to answer
hilarious.
those
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
It's hard.
Okay, so we're gonna take this
Okay.
random BuzzFeed one.
Ready?
First question. Do I read? I read them
This is
out loud,
ready?
right?
Yeah, read them and
Okay,
we'll answer.
set up, young wizard, and place me on your head if you're ready to be sorted. I'm ready. Okay, first of all, you have a wand by your what? You have a wand by now, yes? What is the core made out of? My wand.
Okay. Read out
Okay.
the options.
Okay, it's a dragon heartstring, phoenix feather, just like Harry Potter, thestral tail hair, very rare, unicorn tail hair, responsibly acquired, or Vila hair. I bought it in Eastern Europe.
But I kind of know these.
Do you just have to like improvise? Like if
Okay,
I don't
you
have
don't
a
know.
Can
Do
you
you
wand,
explain what they are?
You guys,
If you
do
You
want-
pick whatever you
Avila
want.
and Thestral, I guess they
Well,
won't know what they are.
Thestral. What's Thestral?
Okay, a thestral is this creature that you can only see if you've seen death. So it came out in the
Oh, yeah.
sixth book,
In the
fifth
fifth
book,
book.
in the fifth book, in
No,
Order of Phoenix.
Yeah, fifth book.
In
Yeah,
Order of
that's right.
Phoenix.
That's when
Yeah. The
Luna was
flying
talking
Luna.
about.
That's
yeah,
a Thestral.
But she talks about how like don't judge them by their cover or like don't
Because
judge a book by the cover because they're gentle
They're
creatures.
yeah, so you see them and they look scary,
Scary because
but,
there's
Yeah,
you know
very
but they're
bones and
super
everything.
mancitos. Yeah.
And Vila is very kind of like perfect, kind of like a pixie fairy, like just like a
A
perfect
pixie,
girl.
yeah.
Just picture like the perfect, like humanoid, like
Humanoid.
like a perfect woman, basically, like a beautiful, like cheer, like the perfect. I don't know, like a
the
cheerleader.
perfect, yeah, I
A
know.
perfect woman.
And Phoenix, Phoenix is
Yeah.
Fox, the Dumbledore's.
Yeah.
A Phoenix,
the bird.
those birds
The
that are
That
reborn
yeah.
from their
Born from their
ashes,
ashes, yeah.
and you know what a dragon is, and you know what a
the
unicorn
unicorns.
is.
Yeah.
Remember, unicorns are very pure, so
Is that your
that could change.
Hint,
Hint,
hint.
no, it's not mine, but you can guess. Okay, go Mel.
Wait, I haven't answered yet.
No,
You have a real wand.
I know, but
you already know what yours is made out of.
okay.
Go.
If you were to confront do you say Bogart or Bogart? The
I
way
say
they say it in the
Bogart.
film.
Oop,
I say
there you
Bogart.
go. Got it.
Did you answer it already?
Yes.
Okay, go Mel. Go.
What do you
faster.
suppose you would see? What is it that you fear the most? Do you guys know what a Bogart is?
Yes, that little thing.
It comes out of the
chest.
chest.
It's like a go.
It takes the
Of your
form
fear.
of what you fear
Are
the
your
most.
biggest fear?
Your
Yeah.
biggest
Like in the
fear.
movie
The third
in
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner of
Yes.
Spiders. I hate
So there's spiders. One of my loved ones dead. Probably a Dementor. There isn't much I'm afraid of. Clowns. Ever heard of the little girl from The Ring? Sorry, I was raised in a Muggle household.
Perfect.
Snakes. They creep me out. And something else, I think.
Okay. Did everyone got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
next one. Interesting. And what do you desire most in the world? Fame and fortune, the love of close friends and family, traveling and new experiences, or peace, quiet, and a good book?
Okay. And then does this one change based on what you answered?
Yes,
there? Oh,
yes.
okay.
I'll like tell you like something.
Are we
Okay.
getting different ones already?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's the same, but it like adds
Oh,
the
yeah.
little question adds something. Like
Okay, so do
I'm
I
saying
read it or
loyalty.
what?
If you
Just
wanna
read
read
the
yours,
Well, no.
Like here's a
everyone-
question.
Okay.
Okay, what? Here's a question. What?
You don't have that.
No, mine's different.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to do it really
mine's-
fast on our own.
Okay, so
You
we all
guys
have
don't know
different
this one.
ones.
We all have different ones based on the one that we just answered.
Okay.
Okay. Is the next one also different?
I sense bravery and loyalty in abundance.
Mine's already. Oh wait. Oh.
Okay, I already got it. Did you already get yours?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Of course you got. We talked about this. Okay.
You did.
Yes.
We, well, on
Okay,
the way
let's-
over here, we guessed who
Yes.
what
Okay.
everyone was.
Let's see. Okay.
Okay. Well, I got Gryffindor.
Read
too.
your
Okay.
thing.
What?
You know,
Wow.
you know the traits: bravery, determination, selflessness. Selflessness? I was like selfishness. Oh, man.
That's
You have all those,
Jim.
of
That's
course, but there's just a trace of Hufflepuff in you too. The Hufflepuff loyalty can mean great success when combined with Gryffindor courage. After all, there's strength in numbers.
That's what I got.
Cheers.
I got Hufflepuff.
I got Ravenclaw.
Wow.
Okay, you want to read yours or do I read mine?
Yeah, I'll read mine. Loyalty, fairness, patience, dedication. Hufflepuffs have all these traits, giving them a strong moral character. In you, there's a bit of a Slytherin as well. So
And that's what you
Pottermore
got,
told me
yeah.
this. A rarity for Hufflepuffs. Instead of putting yourself first, you put yourself and those most important to you first. In a sense, your loyalty is even stronger than that of most Hufflepuffs.
Aww.
I'm loyal.
You are loyal. I love it. Okay, I got Ravenclaw. Intelligence and wit are fine qualities for any young wizard to have, and you have them in abundance. However, there's a bit of Gryffindor in you too, and that bravery will help you pursue a challenging and creative career.
Yeah,
Look at that.
sound like that.
Woo!
Was yours exactly like mine? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Exactly like
That's
it.
awesome.
Twins.
Okay,
Twinsies.
so yeah, as we were coming,
Yeah.
we talked about it, and I thought you would be Gryffindor, and we thought she'd be Slytherin. I thought you'd be Slytherin.
I think you're so cunning, your passive aggressive notes.
They left that rug on our porch.
Yeah.
Hey, what was it bad for me to go put it on fire?
No,
that have made me
would've been
aggressive.
that'd be just aggressive, not
That'd be
passive
aggressive.
aggressive. No, so one thing I had a question with, I know there's a theory out there with Neville about him being
Another
the chosen one.
The chosen one.
He could
Because
have
they
been
were
the
like born in
alternate
the same
one.
year,
So
well,
they
the same month or something.
So the prophecy stated a child that was born towards the end of July that both parents had fought in the Wizarding War
Yeah.
before, and like it was all these little details that were true for both Harry
That would have been a
and Neville.
twist right
and
there.
Neville. But the thing is, it was a choice. I think the one thing that they talked about is like it was Voldemort's choice to choose Harry and not Neville. Like he could have chosen either or.
It could have
so,
gone
like,
either way.
It could have
Right.
gone either way, and we could.
It would have been a different story.
It would have, yeah.
It would have been way different.
So
but
it would have been interesting, like if Harry wasn't the chosen one. I think that'd be pretty cool. He's like, nope,
if in
you're
the
not
end,
the one.
in the
It's
end,
that dude.
Voldemort's
you know?
like, nope, I wanted to fight him.
Yeah, he's the one. And like, I mean, I don't know, like this whole thing where Harry accepted that he was a chosen one at that point. He kind of fought it a little bit, and then he accepted that maybe I am okay, and he went full at it in the movies at least. Did you want to add anything with that with the Neville?
I just thought it was really cool how they like the character evolved so much.
How
Like
they
you see it in the movies, but you see it
And more in the books.
With who?
And
With
Neville,
Neville.
like
His character.
he evolves into a true Gryffindor. Like you even see that in the end, he's able to take out the
Sword of
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Yeah. He just pulled it out
Which
of the
is
hat.
something that only a true Gryffindor
Gryffindor
can take out of that hat.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
he completely proved himself, and like when everybody had given up, when they saw Harry dead, and everybody was like, "Oh man, okay, this is it, we're done, we're doomed." He stood up
like,
in the middle of
friend.
like everybody, and he talked in front of Voldemort and like
did,
freaking
he
faced
told him,
him
yes.
and told him off.
He told him, I know.
It was like
But
he was
like
like
something
like
that's
limping
limping
and all
was-
that.
was,
broken
I
and
know.
stuff, but
And
everybody
they
was
saw it
talking
as a
to
joke. Voldemort's
Yeah,
like,
they
that's
laughed.
cute.
Everybody
Like,
Yeah, he
says,
and we'll
"Oh, I
take
would've
what
taken-"
we get.
Yeah,
I
that's what
guess.
he
Yeah,
said.
we'll take what we get, and then like.
But
oh,
you,
he's the
he
bravest-
prevailed. He's amazing. But
He kills the last Horcrux. Well, one of the last Horcrux.
Voldemort. I mean, I love Voldemort. I love I love Neville. I love Neville, and especially even in the first films when you see him,
It's so
defending,
funny.
trying to tell Hermione and Ron and Harry, like, no, you guys are getting us in trouble.
Like
And
you get a little hint of that Gryffindor
you see
there.
the Gryffindor. You know he is Gryffindor.
And that's why
though.
I think that's why it became such a big thing, that adding those last 10 points that you feel like are unfair, but it's like you got to see it as
No, you did, because he acted as a true Gryffindor.
a true Gryffindor. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
deserved to be
okay.
there.
You know,
'Cause
he
a
he
long
was
time
giving up his
people-
friendships, or like
Yes.
risking his friendship for the better of the school, or like for following the rules. or
Trivia: what's the spell that Hermione casts on Neville when he tries to stop them from leaving
in the first film.
in the first film and book? So
And
you
book.
guys should know.
Stop them from leaving. I don't know.
when they were gonna go like find the stone, and he's
know.
like, "No, like I'll fight you."
Yeah, he's like, "I'll fight you," and then Hermione
and then she's
says,
like,
she says,
did she say?
"Petrificus totalis."
Okay, that turned
And
him,
that's when he like
petrified him.
Petrifies
petrifies
him.
him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to
Totally
add
knew that.
more. We need to add more.
Yeah, no, so there's like, the first film and second film were pretty good. I thought the first one was stronger than the second one, but the third one really changed it for me, which was Prisoner of Azkaban. Different feel. They were little older, and they were about 13 in that one.
So
in that-
the way they had it
every
was
year.
that
They started
they
at
wanted
10.
it to
They started
to-
11.
at 11.
At 11,
So
okay.
you just count because they wanted it to have it where every year was the year
Yeah.
afterwards.
And but I think what,
book
like-
wise and movie wise are different.
Yeah.
But
I think what helped a lot though for like the movies is that they did wait like 2 years on like, so from the first to second they had waited 1 year, but then from the second to third they waited like 2 years, and by then they had a girl spirit. They all looked
they went through puberty.
They went through puberty. They looked like teenagers, and I think that really helped to be able to like make it, I don't know, darker, more realistic. I don't know.
Yeah, and
they
again,
weren't these
the
little kids
director, like I think, was it David Yates?
No, that was the last one.
The 4, was it like from 4 on or 5 on?
It was from.
I don't remember.
4 on. Okay. It was 4 on. For third, it was this very
like
famous Mexican.
Dude, right?
Yeah. Something with a C.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was really good. I remember seeing his
very
name.
Very famous Hispanic director.
And I thought that
Mexican
film
director.
was awesome. It was a really good, good movie.
I mean, to date, of all the books and all the movies, my favorite book and film is Prisoner of Azkaban.
I love Prisoner.
Yeah, and same thing with him. Like I keep freaking out with Sirius Black, how it's freaking Commissioner Gordon.
We talked. Do you remember we talked about this in the lunchroom?
Yeah.
We're watching RoboCop or something, and I'm like, that's
Alfonso, the director.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
No, we talked. That was real fast googling. we talked about it because I'm like, oh, that's Sirius Black, and you and Mark were like, no. I'm like, yes, it is. I know my Harry Potter characters.
Yeah, he's a great actor, man. Character actor, and like completely changed his look. He was awesome. I just wanted a shout out to.
Love Sirius Black, and
good.
one of the times when I read the books that I cried the most was spoilers when Sirius Black dies.
Yeah,
like my
10-year-old spoiler.
It's 10 years. It's real old, I know, but to date, that's I think one of the times
cousin,
where
right?
I cried.
Bellatrix was his cousin, right?
Yeah,
his cousin.
Yeah, that was really.
Yeah.
And
I think that's one of the times where I cried the most.
Like almost family member that Harry had left that cared for him.
When he's gone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna cry again. Cool. It was so sad.
Well, one thing that was funny, I guess, on a lighter note, in the 4th movie, I thought it was really funny when I think they see the girls come in from the ship, and Ron looks, and like there's like that butt shot of the girl, and he's like,
very
bloody hell.
Very inappropriate.
Very inappropriate because it was a long shot. It was a lingering shot. Yeah.
He's like, bloody hell. I just cracked up. And I thought of you. I was like, haha, that's funny. You're probably.
I was like, no.
Very
even when I saw it now, I'm like, that's not a good shot.
It just showed that they were growing.
They were growing.
And they were thinking of girls now. Noticing girls now.
Yeah, and
that's kind of like you saw that they were grown up, and there was a lot of hints of romance in that.
Yeah, there were.
Goblet of Fire. Exactly. They had the dance. And
That's why Melinda hates that movie.
That's my least favorite movie.
I don't like
romance.
that one either.
I like it.
No,
well, I know. If you read the book, you'll know.
That's what I told you. That
she changed it so.
From book to film adaptation was big, but it's also one of the largest books. Remember, it's because she made a mistake and she wrote like the other half of the book trying to fix it. I talked to you about that. Remember?
What was retcon?
I don't even remember. It was. Do you remember what that was?
The mistake? There was a mistake in it?
Yeah, do you remember she said that?
I think it sounds familiar.
She tweeted it once, and people asked like, why is Goblet of Fire so long? Like that's not even an important book. Like that's not that it's not an important book, but it's like a book type thing, you know? And so she's like, oh, it's because I made a mistake and I had to go back and I had to write fix it. Yeah.
Or do a reasoning behind why.
Of why, yeah. So if you read that, like, it's really
it's
big.
the thickest one.
It's
You'll notice it, the orange.
And so that's why you're like, Goblet of Fire, like they're just in the Triwizard Tournament. Why is it so long?
I have heard, like even from other people, like yesterday I had a conversation about that we were going to do this podcast, and they're saying that Goblet of Fire was that movie you could have just skipped over.
Yes,
except for that last part with Voldemort coming back.
Yeah, because everything else is just like revolves around.
Just the graveyard scene would have been fine.
And I guess to learn more about different schools.
Different characters. That there are outside schools outside of Hogwarts.
That was a cool thing about it too. Like I asked you, so there's other schools throughout the world?
Yes,
there's one in America.
There's an American one.
Yeah, and that's what you find out in Fantastic Beasts. There's one in America, and then there's Romania, right?
Yeah.
And then there's one in the French
My friends.
one, Ireland.
The one that's the American one.
Oh, that's America. Yeah.
The one in Ireland.
Yeah, but there's
it's in North America too.
A lot of different schools that teach magic. The what?
I can't say it.
Oh, I can't say it. I don't know.
That's the American.
I don't want to try. I don't even want to try.
Something that's the American one. It's really hard to pronounce.
Well, I thought that was cool.
Not as catchy.
I enjoyed the movie just because of the competitions and the way he was figuring things out.
I think because you learn more, they learn more spells.
They knew a lot of spells.
I like the ball.
He had to train.
Cool.
The egg.
Yeah.
The egg. The dragon's egg.
Wait, what ball are you talking about?
Oh, the Yule ball.
Yeah, the Yule ball.
I thought you were talking about a ball.
The ball. I was like a physical ball.
You mean the egg?
I was like, no, the
You put it
ball.
underwater.
The Yule ball.
The Yule ball.
We get all dressed up, and then they're super awkward at dancing.
Oh man!
Skip chapters.
It's cute. It's awkward. You get to see like the awkwardness and
It was, and you see that's when you really start seeing the Hermione in the book, like the
That change.
Hermione
Where
and Ron.
is like super
super
pissed.
jealous.
He's like, I'll just
Super-
take her out
Yeah.
because she doesn't have anybody. Poor Hermione, crying her eyes
really
out right
rude.
now.
Like
He's
Super
really
rude.
mean.
I guess
I
I'll
know.
take her. It's like, it's too late, dude. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that was pretty good. I like Mad-Eye Moody.
Mad-Eye
It was
Moody.
cool.
Well, you didn't get to see him in,
Mad-Eye Moody. You only
in
got
the
to
fourth one because it was
actually the
Barty
doctor.
Crouch Jr.
Barty Crouch
The doctor. It was
The
the
doctor.
doctor. It was the
Yeah.
tenth doctor.
The
Yeah.
doctor.
No, but it
He was
was Barty
in
Crouch
there.
Jr. So
Yes.
really, you
You
get to learn
didn't
more
see
about
him.
of Mad-Eye Moody in book 5. Right
Okay.
in Order of the Phoenix.
in Order
is
of the
when-
Phoenix,
That's when
you get
really
to see his
again.
actual character.
You get
like,
to see
he is.
who the actual Mad-Eye Moody
Yes,
is.
and that's one thing. It's
The
like
difference.
Harry got to know this other dude, and that's the whole
The
thing.
fake,
Like,
the fake Mad-Eye
guy.
Moody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
fake
Barty
Mad-Eye
Crouch.
Moody was cool. And then you had Edward the Vampire Wizard.
Edward
you
the
know?
Robert Pattinson.
So you had him,
Wait,
had
you
him
went
in
back
it.
to the fourth one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in
he's
the
still in
fourth one. In the fourth
Yeah.
one. So I like the whole maze
Cedric
thing, the whole
Diggory.
Cedric and
Well, if they would have like stuck a little bit closer to the book, there's actually so many cool scenes within that
And-
maze scene. Oh, it's so
That
cool.
went by so fast. The maze scene in the film.
Like it went by like this, but there's actually there was different stages of the maze and
And but it's because
Yeah,
they did that a lot. Even in the first book, you know how when they were trying to find the Sorcerer's Stone, the
they
Philosopher's Stone,
skipped a few of the
there were so many different stages that they had to go before they find. And in the movie, I think they only did like three,
Three.
right? They did the chest, the key one, and
the vines that
the devil snare.
the devil snare.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they did 3, I think, and in the book there's like six
Six or seven.
Six or seven.
Like,
So there's a lot that you
basically
read through.
every professor of every subject
Yes.
did one based on their
Yes.
ability.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like
That's
a
pretty cool.
potion one, which was
Yeah.
the one that Snape did.
Yeah,
then
and
there
so
was,
that one was like there's
the
a
charm
bunch
one,
of potions.
the history one.
There's a bunch. Yes,
Even for sports, the one where he's in the broom and trying to catch the key.
Yeah.
Like it was one for
Oh, yeah,
every
there was
subject.
a-
Yeah,
in
so
the
in the
class.
book when you're reading that,
In
you're
the
like, that
school.
is awesome because
You're applying everything you've
They're
learned?
applying, yeah,
Okay.
because Hogwarts you're actually supposed to go
And
to
it's kind
learn.
of like
Yeah.
each of them was
Can-
to like kind of show off their ability,
Yes.
their special ability,
And-
which was Ron chess, and then Harry was the broom,
Yeah,
the
and
broom,
Hermione was the potions one and the
potion,
history
and the-
one, and yeah, so they each got to shine a little bit, and yeah. So going back to
Sorry.
where were we? The
Four.
fourth
Goblet.
one.
Goblet of
Yeah,
Fire.
so
The
they're
skipping the maze
They
scene.
skip a lot of scenes in the
like
book that you.
like one that I thought was really cool was the what was it with the pyramid thing? What are they called?
The
What do you call that? The,
No, I
the,
don't-
the pyramid thing with the head of a lion and the face.
the
of a
one
woman
that was
and the
moving
body of a
now,
lion.
right?
pyramid thing.
You know how like in the pyramids in Egypt, there's like
the
the
Sphinx?
Sphinx.
Yeah.
There's a scene with the Sphinx, and you have to figure out a clue or figure out something.
Yeah, the clues. No, but so there's a lot of
There's just, like, a lot
there's
of
a lot.
really
Yeah,
cool
there's a
parts.
lot. I
Stuff
can't even.
that they didn't
That
put
they
in the
didn't
movie.
include in the maze. It was so cool.
Oh, I forgot about the Sphinx.
The Sphinx.
I
That's the one that
I
like
totally forgot about
I
that
take
one.
to like mine because it was like kind of like they eat you if you don't answer it correctly or something like that.
Okay.
So they used that mythology in the that it was like a question, so kind of like
the
a trick question,
The trick question. Oh man, I totally forgot about that.
like a riddle. So you have to solve a riddle with a Sphinx. With a Sphinx, it was a legit
An
Sphinx. I
actual
was
Sphinx.
like looking forward
To see
seeing a
like
Sphinx.
CGI.
A CGI Sphinx.
Yeah.
That would have been so cool.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then so at the end, I know that I talk to you about this all the time. Where like the dad's super proud of Edward or
My
Cedric.
son.
Yeah, he's
That-
like, my boy.
That scene is so
It's so
heartbreaking.
very-
I cried
Because
yesterday
you think
watching
he
it.
thinks he won or he
Yeah,
right?
he's there.
It's like,
Oh, he
yes.
did it again. High five.
And
Random
then
guy.
it's very slow realization,
Yeah.
and the scenes that
Yeah.
It goes
gets
real
very
like you just
interesting.
face the
Yeah.
band dies down.
as they realize what's going
Yeah,
on.
that he's dead.
That he's just not
on the
moving.
floor. Yeah, and
Very dark.
yeah, that was and the resurrection, of course, of Voldemort. There,
so
Yeah,
coming
scary.
back.
Actually
The
seeing-
first time
seeing
seeing a
him.
physical like
and
Yeah,
actually
it was
seeing because
intentional.
you had always
You never saw him.
hinted that Lucius Malfoy was evil, but to see him as a Death Eater
Yeah.
in the fourth book, you're
Yeah.
like, whoa, he's actually evil.
He's actually evil.
Like he's not
You
just
thought he just was
no, you
snarky
thought that
and,
he was just
like,
like
you
a
know.
bad guy, but like to see him
Oh, I
as
guess that was
de-
a shock. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess-
you're like, no, like he's not just a
He's
bad
a
parent, like
follower.
he's evil. He's a follower.
Yeah, of
So
the
that's
Dark Lord.
book
yeah.
4, yeah.
Yeah, and so that led up to the fifth one, and which was
Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the
Phoenix.
darkest,
And
saddest,
so-
most
That's
depressing.
The saddest.
So that's when Luna was introduced.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Luna
she's
Lovegood.
the best character.
I
yeah,
love
she's funny.
Luna
Why is it the saddest
because
book
my
ever?
well, me it's because of Sirius Black of Luke.
Oh,
Like
that's right. At the end.
Well, the
at
thing
end
is
of the-
also it's very dark and serious because the thing is this happened after Voldemort came back, right? And the only
they don't
person that
believe.
saw
No one
him was
believes.
Harry,
Yeah.
and nobody believes him. And everybody is trying. The Ministry of Magic, like the
They're all
papers,
going
newspapers,
against him.
everybody's trying to be like, no, this little boy's delusional. He was like lying,
They're
that
trying to
crazy
cover it
lady
up
covering
and-
something
To
up.
see him,
Umbridge,
yeah,
right? You have
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
And
Yeah,
then
no,
that's
I hate her.
Umbridge, but
That-
everybody like completely hates this really
I
sweet
think
looking lady
I
that is
think
just
today
pure
people
evil.
think that Umbridge is more evil than Voldemort.
I've heard
Yeah,
people hate Umbridge more than
I hate her
Voldemort.
so
No,
much.
I hate her more than
I
Voldemort
hate her more
because
than
she's
Voldemort.
Voldemort. Like he's a bad guy, but
Yeah.
And he shows it, but
because
she's like,
he
she
was
looks
made,
so-
he's evil. Like he has no heart. But her, like she's a human being, and she's evil. Like she hates. She's talking about how she hates
hates kids, yeah.
and she's all
The
mad.
whole
Like she
thing
was
of
just
I
that
will not tell
punishment.
lies.
And yeah,
Like,
well,
that
that's
was
so
screwed up,
evil. And
man.
then, well, they didn't go into the detail about how she hated centaurs and just any
Oh,
kind of
the-
like
the
the creatures and
Yeah,
the agreement.
they didn't go into that.
They-
Yeah,
they-
but
it was a
that's really
headline
interesting.
in the newspaper. That's how they mentioned how this, and I think like some chatter over here.
But there's a lot of detail that goes
the
into
book.
the
what
book
she does.
about what she does
Against
against.
the centaurs.
What the treatment of what
So
she does to them.
she's also one of those like not
Like an
a
elitist,
legit follower,
maybe?
an elitist. I can say
Elitist.
An
elitist. Where
Some kind of
she kind
prejudice
of like
against-
she's like all pure
She
blood.
hates.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She only wants
mixed
pure bloods.
blood, like mixed
Yeah.
blood. She hates creatures and just anybody that's kind of like a mixture.
She's
of-
basically like an
bigoted.
alt right.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
what she
over
is.
Harry Potter.
And,
like,
yeah,
for
she's
sure.
alt right
That
Harry
makes
Potter.
sense.
Yeah.
No, and so like in the last one, to jump ahead just a little bit, you saw what were Voldemort's motivations? Like he was like purebred. He was kind of Nazi-ish,
Like
right?
a Hitler. He's like
yeah.
the Hitler.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Harry
So it was
Potter.
purebred. They're above the Muggles.
So pure
and-
blood.
The pure blood.
Which is
Bloods.
ironic because his mom wasn't.
His mom
his
wasn't?
dad was a Muggle. His
I
mom was a pure
know.
blood. His dad was a Muggle.
Hey.
But
And-
it's just like
Hitler,
Hitler. Like
yeah.
he was.
Just like Hitler. But
Not
I,
a pure.
not a
pure
Also,
blood.
he wanted only people with blonde hair and blue eyes. He had neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just a hypocrite.
Yeah, like a hypocrite. But
No,
I
but-
think
And the propaganda with the paper, the Daily Prophet, all that
That's the
stuff that
thing.
they were
Yeah,
pushing through.
that
There's a
the
lot
Ministry of
overtones,
Magic
yeah.
and the Daily
And
Prophet
taking
were
over.
working
The
together
government was
to.
yeah, that's screwed up too. Like that was they'd use that as their
The
agenda
media and the
to push-
government
Yeah, they
is
use the
taking
media
over.
and the government. Yeah, I know.
media in Harry Potter world sucks. Every journalist, everybody.
Rita
sucks.
Skeeter
Rita Skeeter's the worst.
Is the worst, and
Is
you
that-
don't.
oh, the-
Rita
the-
Skeeter's a
the
journalist,
lady?
and you don't.
The lady,
yeah,
yeah,
the
the-
lady,
In the
and you don't
goblet?
see this.
Yeah, the
you don't
goblet
see this in the movie, but you learn about it in the books. Is how she was an animagus. So she turned into
A bug.
a bug, so she can get
Oh.
scooped.
That's
Nice.
how she could get everything.
That's how she learned
That's how
everything.
she knew
She
everything.
would turn herself into a bug, and she would get scoops by being a
And
bug.
she was unlicensed, so
She was an
nobody knew
unlicensed. She was an
nobody
unlicensed
knew
animagus.
She was an animagus, and that's why she got all the scoops and all the news and knew
Yeah.
everything about
Yeah.
everybody.
So that's
So
the
nobody
thing in the
knew.
Harry Potter universe is that if you're an
The reg-
animagus, which is
You have to register.
you have
you
to
have to register. They need to know that you're an animagus. Yeah.
That's
and then
weird,
there
the
was 3
government.
unregistered animagus in the Harry Potter world.
So
you guys
the-
know?
Quiz. Who were they?
Quiz.
Who are
I'm
they?
quizzing you guys.
Yeah.
No, what? No.
Unregistered.
We-
What?
Unregistered.
I guess it would be let's say Sirius.
Oh,
Maybe
yes.
one. I
The
guess
mouse? Wouldn't it be
Okay.
the Ron Weasley?
well,
Peter-
what's his name?
Oh, sorry.
Pettigrew. Peter
Petty
Pettigrew.
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 Peter Pettigrew.
Peter
And
Pettigrew.
then I don't know if
What
he
other
would be-
friend are we missing?
Yeah, I don't
We're
know.
missing
I
one.
don't know
It's
if it would
a
be.
main
marauder. It's
one.
a marauder.
I don't know.
one
If
of them
Lupin,
Marauder.
would he be one? The professor?
No,
Lupin?
he- no, he's a
because he's
werewolf.
a werewolf. That's what I was saying. He wouldn't
Right.
count.
So
So
as
we're
who
that.
was the
missing-
other
He was
friend?
cursed.
Who was the
You're
other friend
thinking
in the...
of someone's father, maybe?
Somebody's the main
The main father.
Was he? Oh, I had no idea. James. What did he turn
So
into?
okay, so I talked about this. Thanks you guys.
Patronus.
Thanks you guys for listening to the podcast. I talked about this. Yeah, so because Lupin was a werewolf and he hated it, and when his
Yeah.
friends, his BFFs, found out about it,
Yeah.
they're like, "We want to be there with you guys," and so they turned into Animagi so that they could do something with him and try to.
Protect. The thing
to
is,
protect-
werewolves don't hurt other animals. They only hurt humans.
Right.
Okay.
So kind of like they were able to kind of control him or kind of work with him
If
and
they
kind
were
of keep
animals.
him down if they were turned into animals.
Yeah.
So they all like kind of learned how to change
How to change
So what did he
without being
change it to?
registered.
when they were like teenagers and high school.
So it's
Sirius
a gi-
Black
it's-
turned into a dog.
It's a gift, or it's something they learn. It's something that they learned. Then
No, it's not a gift. It's a
it's an actual.
no. Well, you need it's not a spell, right?
No, it's like
You
it's like
need to
technique
turn.
that you learn.
it's a technique. You
It's a
kind of learn. You
technique,
have to
yeah,
learn how
yeah.
to do it. Like anybody, I think anybody can do it, but you have to,
Learn.
like really work hard at it.
Yeah, and then okay, so
The stag,
that's
Was
his
he the
Patronus.
the Patronus,
okay.
Harry's
His Patronus.
Patronus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, according to Snape, he was a jerk, and he was and to the back.
That takes you into like a
This
dark
is a whole different
history of
I remember
family.
seeing that in the last one in the sixth.
So in the fifth one, in the fifth one, they don't really go into it, which is another thing that the films just missed
Kinda did a
out. They
little bit.
left it on a note where like
You're
Harry's
like, what?
dad is
It's
a jerk.
Yeah.
And that's how they left it in the films. But in the book, you kind of learn a little bit more. Like, okay, he did bad things, but he changed.
He did
As
change.
he
and
was
he
growing up,
changed.
he changed because of
Of
Lily.
Lily. Lily, you learn about it. They always talk about
And he
how
was a total
kind she
jerk.
was
Yeah.
and how smart she was. And when Lily, well, okay, so everyone knows that Snape was always in love with Lily.
Yes.
With
And so when
Harry's
Lily
mom.
chose James,
Yeah.
he.
Spoilers, Claudia.
Did you know? Did you know that?
I mean, that's how Harry.
Yeah, that's how Harry was born. Yeah.
The last two movies.
So like she changed him with
Yeah.
her kindness. She was this kind person who cared about everyone. She put everyone before herself. And he saw that and he wanted to be better because of Lily.
But he was a jerk.
Oh, he was still a jerk.
And she
He
didn't
was a
like
bully.
him at
Yeah.
all. Like in Hogwarts.
They fought, yeah.
And I think it wasn't until they graduated or something.
It was their 7th year
Their
when they
last
started
year
dating.
that they started kind of
Their
like
seventh,
he
yeah.
evolved and he changed. But the Snape and
Snape
Lily
loved
and
Lily. That was his
James,
thing. It was like this
relationship
love
just like
triangle.
it was messed up.
Exactly.
Like it had like already. Because the thing is, Snape also did something bad to Lily, and that's why like kind of
They
ruined their friendship.
They do it in the book though, right? I mean in the
Did
Did they
friendship
in the
did they
movie.
date or they were just friends?
No,
No,
they
they
were
never
friends, but
dated.
he was always in love with her.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they knew each other from when they were
Yeah,
children.
when they
He's
were
the
kids,
one
they
that
showed that
kinda-
in the flashbacks, or whatever.
Which is
Or
the
in
beautiful part where he like showed her. He's like, you're not
You're not-
what's it? What would the aunt say?
You're
not a freak.
Yeah.
You know you're special. You
Yeah.
have a magic.
because
in you.
she was she would be
She
told
was-
by her
she was
sister that
different.
she was a
Because she
weirdo, that she
born
was a freak.
into a Muggle.
Yeah,
Muggle
she
family.
was. Yeah.
So she thought she was a freak, and her
Yeah,
aunt,
when she met Snape,
her
who
sister
was
was-
a wizard,
Also
he's like,
like
no,
him.
like this makes you special. You're different, and this is good.
and he's
Yeah.
the first one that introduced her to like the beauty and the power of magic, and like
yeah.
the world of magic.
Yeah, that was cool. So again, I don't know if you mentioned it. Who killed Neville's parents? Was that Bellatrix?
That was Bellatrix.
Okay,
Bellatrix,
I-
Well,
she did
they're
the
not
crucial-
dead. They're not dead.
They're not.
No.
I thought they died.
You didn't. I don't think they're.
Didn't they?
Well, another thing they didn't put
movie.
in the fifth movie
Okay.
that was in the book. You learned the backstory of what happened to Neville's parents.
Okay, so she was a Death Eater, and she did the one. Okay, so
There's
pop
three
quiz.
curses,
Pop
right?
quiz.
There's three unforgivable curses.
I
Can
asked
name
you
them?
that one
What
last
were-
time.
Avada Kedavra is one.
There's
Avada
one.
Kedavra.
No, we have two more.
And then there's the one that Harry did to.
Bellatrix.
Well, no, he did
He
it
did
to.
it to Bellatrix.
he for a little bit.
But he did it to Malfoy, to Draco.
No,
on
that's
the
not
floor.
one.
That's not one.
No, that was
Okay.
a creation of Snape's.
Oh, he created.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
not one.
because it was like bleeding out.
Yeah,
and-
that one was
that-
invented
brutal.
by
Snape
Snape.
invented that one. That's
okay.
not a. That's not
That's a
one.
brutal
Okay,
one.
then
That was really.
That's a
brutal,
good one though.
Was
Do
it
you remember it?
bleeding out?
Yeah.
What is it?
Septum Sempra.
Septum Sempra.
Septum Sempra.
Yeah.
And you know what that means? Slash of the sword. So that's why he gets
Okay.
lashes.
Oh, yeah,
because
so you see it
That's why
and
he's
it's-
bleeding out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like as if
Sword
swords were
cutting?
slashing
Oh,
you.
wow.
So it's a very
That was a
like
bad-
dark.
Yeah, and then he
Harry
also
just
did it to Malfoy, and then he tried to do it again to
To
Snape.
Snape. It's to Snape.
Oh, yeah, he's like-
He's like, are you gonna try to do it to me?
To me, I
I'm the
invented
half-blood,
it.
yeah.
I'm the half-blood.
I'm the Half-Blood Friends is what he said.
So intense. Oh,
Yeah,
so
that
It's
was
so
cool.
good, yeah.
Well, so
Okay,
what were
so
the other
so
curses?
the other one is Imperio. That is
Okay.
when.
And I was asking, what do they do? Can you explain also?
Okay, so Imperio, if I cast that spell on you, you will do whatever I tell you to do.
Oh, okay.
If I
It's
tell
kinda
you
like
to
mind
jump out
control.
a bridge, you will do it.
Okay.
It's a control. It's mind control.
Yeah.
And then so there's Crucio. So that is the cursing. You are basically in excruciating
Excruciating
pain.
pain.
The
Okay.
worst pain you can imagine is what you're feeling.
Did anybody experience that one? So
You
Malfoy
saw it?
did
No,
the one
well-
mind control.
They
Did he do that
That,
one?
well,
They did
Voldemort
to
did it to
Crucio.
Voldemort did it to
Harry.
Harry Potter in the fourth.
That's one of the ones. That's why he's kind of like
when he's like
in pain?
twitching and in pain.
Oh, yeah,
On the
He did it
floor?
twice.
That was Crucio.
Twice to a
Yeah.
14-year to a baby.
To a baby.
To a baby.
Yeah.
So that's Crucio, and then it's Avada Kedavra. That's
Yeah,
killing.
Avada
That's the
the killing
ultimate,
curse.
The killing curse.
That doesn't go back. There's no way out of it.
There's no way. Yeah, like and,
that's
and
right,
it's
yeah.
instant death.
You
Like
get
you
hit,
will
you
die
die.
the moment it hits you. You will die.
That's when Harry got hit, it killed that.
The Horcrux inside him.
Yeah.
The baby Voldemort.
The baby
in the mind
Voldemort
Yeah.
inside him.
in Wizard Heaven. So that was the killing curses. So I didn't know which ones what they were. Why is Siri starting again?
Oh,
Okay.
so back to Neville's parents.
Neville's
You can
parents. That's
explain
right.
that.
How did they live?
So okay, how did they live?
How
so
did
there
they
were his
survive?
parents. I can't.
Aurors.
Aurors. I can never say it. I would always read it. I'm like,
They both
Aurors.
fought in the Wizarding War against Voldemort before Harry was born.
Right.
Okay.
So he was part of like the Order of the Phoenix.
The Order of the Phoenix. That picture
So he was
that you
that
see.
picture.
Oh, yeah, everyone.
That was the Order of the Phoenix.
Neville's parents are in there, and
Yeah.
he does explain a little bit in the fifth one.
He does. He mentions it where he says
explains-
Bellatrix
Used the Cruciatus.
the Crucius. Yeah, the Cruciatus.
Curse on his parents. He used it so much that they went insane. So they live in a hospital, like a kind of like
An asylum, pretty
asylum. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because they've gone
and I know
insane.
Neville kept it kind of a secret. He mentioned, "I'm not ready."
He's
for
like, I'm not
anybody
ready
to
for
know."
people to know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I thought
Well,
they
in
were
the
dead.
in the book, it's really nice because they actually go visit that hospital or that asylum,
The asylum.
and they bump into for Ronstadt when he gets attacked by Nagini.
Snake Nagini.
And so they visit it, and that's where they bump into Neville. And they're like, Neville, what are you doing here? And then they bump into
That's
Grandma,
when they talk
and then
about
he
it.
explains the story,
Yeah.
and then they get to see the parents and how they're just like dead, like insane.
They
Like
have nothing.
like they're like crazy, like
Yeah.
just insane, gone insane
Yeah.
with all the pain that the curse caused.
That's
It's
crazy.
really sad, really sad. And then
And that's also sad in the film. You see it go by so fast, like the whole thing with Nagini and Mr. Weasley and like all of that, like Harry's prophecies. Like you see it go by so fast, and you don't see why,
Yeah.
or like how it starts happening. Really, not really, like not the way you do in the book.
I thought it was funny where and I forgot what I was going to say. No, but I thought it was cool when. Well, I had a question first, but they answered in the next book. Like, why did Snape kill Dumbledore? Right at that point,
And go. Yeah, go.
and so they answered in the movie a little
You're
bit.
such a Hermione. You're like
Miss, I don't know your last name, Perla. Miss. Oh yes, del what?
I mean, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Out in
Okay.
the public.
Miss
that was
Perla.
me at the beginning. I'm like, no last name.
No
Yeah,
last
I remember
name.
that. You're like, I'm just Melinda.
I'm just Melinda.
Okay.
Yeah, so they mentioned it, the whole thing, because he tried to destroy the Horcrux ring, right? Which poisoned him or whatever. He had like a year to live, right? According to the movie.
What are you talking about?
The ring, well, that Dumbledore, like his hand was all screwed up in the movie. And so they were talking, and when Harry got the tear, at least in the movie, Harry saw that, and he's like, oh, you have about a year to live.
Well, he killed one of the Horcruxes.
Yes.
Okay,
he
so
destroyed
I
it.
can explain
Yeah,
this
just-
for you. Make it a little easier. So he killed one of the Horcruxes, but when he tried to destroy it, it kind of like released some kind of
The
poison
like a
him or something?
poison
Yeah.
that the only thing that Severus Snape was able to do was contain it. It was
okay.
still gonna kill him some way. He was able to
just
contain it
slowed it
a
down?
year,
Oh,
which
okay.
was the 6th year.
Yeah.
He was able to contain it for 1 year, and what they planned to do, he's like, either way,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna die.
And they-
In a
yeah.
year, he's like,
You
why don't we
need to,
use
yeah.
this as a way for you to get infiltrated into the Death Eaters
Yeah.
and with Voldemort? So like there's no question that you are on their side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when he's like, you know what? Just kill me. And the thing is, they wanted to use Draco Malfoy to be the one to kill Dumbledore, and he promised Draco's mom, Snape
That he
promised
would-
that he would
That he
protect
would,
him,
yeah.
that he wouldn't let him do that because
Yeah.
he knew that was gonna kill him. So he's like, what we're gonna do is you're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me, and that's gonna in front of Death Eaters, in front of everybody, and that's
they
gonna show
see-
that
There's no question.
There's no question. You're on their
loyal.
side,
Yeah.
and they have no idea that it was because he was gonna die either way,
Yeah.
and he was about to die. It was the end of the year.
Yeah, he was
gonna
gonna
die
die
either
anyways.
way. But it also was able to like change. Everybody was able to
was-
see. Oh, Snape is the evil one. Snape is
Yep.
like even the people that were on his side before. Finally, they all turned their backs and are like, "No, he's evil."
Yeah.
So that's the
No,
perfect
that kind of
way
sucks.
to
He was
infiltrate.
like a double agent kind of.
And that's what's so tragic
It's like
about
a
his ending.
double. I
It
know,
is.
I know, and
Because
that's,
nobody
Nobody knew.
until the
I mean,
end.
until the end.
yeah.
until
Well,
after he
reading it,
died.
you're like, Snape.
Oh, but
whole time.
that chapter kills you. That chapter on the 7th book, where
when you're finding out
all
about
the
it.
memories, and when you find out that he always loved her, that he
Yes.
always protected Harry,
Always.
that he always found ways, to protect
To
everybody.
protect.
And
And
even
that's what it.
And that's the
breaks
thing.
your
A
heart.
lot of
That chapter
people,
breaks
even
your heart.
now, they know how it ends, but they're still split on whether they like Snape or not. So even I think J.K. Rowling tweeted it on his birthday recently. She's like, "Happy birthday to the best/worst person that we have," or something like
Yeah.
that. Like because she knows that people are still so split on whether he's good or not. Because because whether he was good in the end, he was still a jerk to a child, to Harry. Like he was mean to him.
The thing is, everybody saw James and Harry's face. Like he looked exactly like James according to the book. Like so he just saw James. He saw an old enemy, a bully, a guy that was evil to him and that stole the love of his life. And so he was still a jerk. And there's no way out of it. Like he's still a jerk. He was still kind of rude and mean. But he did a lot of things out of his loyalty and love for Lily. Even protect a boy that looked exactly like the person he hated the most. Which is super tragic.
It's so sad.
Very tragic. Yeah, I thought that was really sad. And when you find all that out, and it's like, I couldn't remember how Snape fit in there. Like, he was a good guy.
And he just rushed through it, those memories.
And even when Harry got his tears, Harry was still like Snape. He still like hated him until he saw it, you know?
Because he was still like, but it was like, kind of, he was still by his side. He's like, you know what, you did all these evil things, but you're still like, you've been a part of my life for so long. He was still kind of holding his hand as he died. And like,
I know.
So sad.
So there was something in the seventh book. There was that teacher that was like being held at that dinner table. Who was that? Was that just an extra teacher?
Oh, you're talking about the beginning of the book?
Yeah.
No, that was a movie.
Yeah,
what?
in the movie.
No,
yeah.
in the book
also.
Yeah, she's one of the teachers.
She taught like Muggle studies or something.
Yes.
And they killed.
Yes. Like she was one of like the ones that was teaching like a useless subject or one that was like unnecessary or that was very like supportive of Muggles.
Yeah, it was like Muggle studies is what they said in the movie, which was I thought it was that blonde lady with the glasses.
No, that's Trelawney, Professor Trelawney.
It's
Trelawney.
But it wasn't her.
Well, what's her? I love that that Dumbledore called her by her first name. What was her first name?
I don't know her first name.
Me neither. I forgot, but I loved it.
But Professor Trelawney, she's pretty amazing. Played by Emma Thompson, pretty awesome.
Oh yeah,
actress, pretty awesome actress.
So there was a scene I think in that seventh one. I think when everybody. So also, I guess you find out people like Muggles are being kidnapped and killed. So they leak into the real world as well. Where like the Death Eaters and Voldemort.
Yeah, like they have like they don't have that like we have to hide in the Wizarding World. No boundaries anymore. They just like
boom, weird stuff is happening all over the world.
Yeah, destroying, killing everybody, kidnapping.
Like when Harry was
any supporter of like Muggles and
like people were getting caught in the crossfire as well, right? Because like there was parts where they'd go to certain places and it was like abandoned. Like when they were walking through, nobody's there. So I didn't know if that was clear or not. Maybe in the books, if like it had bled over all this violence, I guess what would you call it? Like I don't know, just bleed over violence between the
different
worlds. The Death Eaters and the
for sure
and the Order, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And so then there was a scene, I guess a deleted scene that I read about later, where like his cousin apologizes to him.
I hate that they didn't put it in the movie.
So it kind of it showed that their relationship, even though like it had always been like a bully kind of relationship, in the end they had an okay relationship. And I did. We read into it that in the future, like, you know, Harry would still visit every once in a while. Not often.
But it was still enough that they were okay enough where
he
was
see each other twice a year, so the
like
nephew, for holidays.
Yeah, yes. I know. Did you watch that deleted scene?
I did. I think I saw it. I was like, is that in here?
It is in the book. It is in the book.
Yeah, so he's like, I know that I was a bully to you, but he's like, I just want to apologize. It just
he does kind of like make it up a little bit.
It would have made sense to leave that in there.
Yeah, and the fact that
it's
they filmed it and they just didn't include it.
It was sad. It's really beautiful because they're you know they know that they have to escape. So I think Harry they let them know, you know, it's very dangerous right now. If you're seen close to this boy, you know, in any proximity, you're dead. You're gone. So they told them like, let's escape, let's run. And so they just throw everything in their car and they're like ready to leave. And that's when he tells them like, you know what, you're not a waste of space.
That was
it's really intense because it gets to see that, you know, their relationship's still healed even after, because I think it explains even after like the aunt and uncle die and pass away, they still would see each other, kept in contact. They knew who their uncle was, you know, like Harry's sons knew who their uncle was.
There was also, like I think Lupin mentioned some news. I guess that they were pregnant or they had
the litter of.
Oh my god!
What?
I know.
A litter?
The litter of pups.
Litter of pups.
That's what they call them because Moody cuts him off at that point. And I think later on they just say, "Oh," when they see him dead on the floor.
So that's another thing that movies kind of just killed it
Glossed
for me.
over?
Yeah, glossed over. So the Lupin and Tonks like relationship, their love story.
They didn't talk about it at all.
No,
They
because
don't talk
I
about
was like, who's
like
this
so
sweet
all of a
lady?
sudden they had
She was
they
there.
were in a relationship.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they were together.
She
was the wife.
That's Tonks.
I think she changed a lot between films, so you
Yeah.
can't tell who she is anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure
She's a
out the actress.
Hufflepuff and she's super hardcore.
Yeah.
Like
So
she's
she didn't
awesome.
She didn't show up until
The fifth.
The
the
fifth
fifth-
Order
and the
Phoenix.
fifth- and the
Or
Yeah.
Phoenix. Yeah, that's
And
when you
that's kinda
first
like,
saw her. When
well,
she
they-
gets angry and her hair gets a different
In
color.
the
Red,
book
yeah.
they talk
She
a lot about
has-
it, and she has a very
yeah.
strong personality. She's really cool.
She does have
She's
a strong
cool. She seemed like a
personality.
cool
But she
character.
does like fall in love with him, but then there's like I'm too old for you, and
Because she
I'm
was
broken.
the
I have
student, right?
no. She
Wasn't she the student of Lupin?
No, she wasn't.
Are
But
you
she
sure?
was no. She was older than Harry and them.
No, I know. No. At one point, I don't know. I read. I don't know why I remember that she was a student of. No. I know that she was older than them.
So. He was
But
just
maybe
older
when he
than
was a
her.
I don't know why
She was.
I remember
She was
that.
just young. She was like I guess in her 20s.
20s, yeah.
And he was like
In his 40s. Yeah,
and
it
so
was
he
a-
thought I'm old for you, and he always hated himself because he was a werewolf because it was kind of like a disease.
Yeah.
And
Do you guys remember what I also talked about is what it was
It's
associated
analogous
with?
HIV. rays,
Yeah, they it's kind of like a reference to that for like a friend of I think J.K. Rowling said that suffered that, and how people saw it as like a gross, a disease that you don't want to
Yeah.
get in contact with or close. So that's what he saw himself as, and she didn't care.
yeah.
She loved him, and then so they end up getting married in the 6th or something, and they end up having a child together.
Named Teddy.
Teddy, which is so sad that they don't include this, especially at the end, because at the end in the prologue is when it's supposed to.
Oh, okay.
When it makes
He
because you
makes
hear-
his appearance.
Oh, really?
And it's kind of like what another thing is really sad is that J.K. Rowling intended for it to be kind of like a repetition of his of the story
Like it was
of the
gonna
history.
start-
It's like it starts
Oh,
again with
it
an
comes
orphan.
full cir-
Because circle because it starts at the end of the
But
war with
it's-
an orphan again.
And it's so cute because you don't
But
see
this
it.
time-
You see it in the books. You don't see it in the movie. That like the way that Harry was fed by Mrs. Weasley and like stuffed and like that's
so
the way like that's
Well,
what
that's the way. The thing is, that's the way. The only difference between Harry's story and Teddy's is that he was raised in a loving home with hundreds and hundreds of cousins and uncles and people that cared for him. Because Harry ended up being the godfather, his godfather,
okay.
and he cared for him. He was part of the family. He was like
Yeah.
his second child, his other
So
child.
cool.
So you don't. The only difference is that he grew up in a loving, a very loving,
Environment,
wonderful
yeah.
environment in the Wizarding world.
That's
So
awesome.
that's what made that story, I guess, a little happier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
but
was
super
so
good. It
sad.
would have been really nice if they would have showed him.
I and I've always loved Lupin and I love Tonks
Yeah.
and I loved them.
Together.
I love them together because they were
They were such a great
they were
in
such
the
a good
books.
couple.
We joked about it the other time where I sent you, when I think in the third Prisoner of Azkaban, I sent you a snap about Lupin and Sirius. I was like, more than friends? And even Snape says, or somebody says
They
they're
bicker
arguing
like
like
an old married couple.
Yeah, bickering like an old married couple. And then like later on you see his wife or whatever, retconned.
No, Jim. No, they were.
It's
They
okay.
were
BFFs,
BFFs,
I know,
and they don't talk about that in the movies. But
The
you
thing is,
see
they both
the
lost their
Marauders.
best
You
friend.
see
They
them.
lost their best.
They lost their best friend, and they were betrayed by the other. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like they
Lost
that
their best friend, which
they-
is James,
James.
and then betrayed by the other, which was Pettigrew.
Peter-
So that
yeah.
was one of the Marauders as well. It was their map, right?
So those, it's not there. Yeah. So the Marauders were Padfoot, Prongs, Mooney. Wait, what? What am I
Yeah.
missing?
Moody.
Oh, no, not
Mooney.
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 That's like Mooney. Padfoot,
Padfoot.
Prongs. Who am I missing?
I don't know. Well, prongs.
I said
So that's
Mooney.
we're
Padfoot,
missing
Prongs.
tail.
Wormtail.
Wormtail.
So that was Peter Pettigrew. Yeah.
That's why we were forgetting about him.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's
he
a nobody.
sucks.
Who cares?
Yeah, he was
I
he
forgot about-
betrayed him.
and you see that in the fourth movie or the fifth movie where Voldemort refers to Peter Pettigrew as Wormtail.
Oh yeah, yeah. He calls him in
Wormtail.
Goblet
Because he was
Yeah.
one of, and that's another thing they didn't like. They just brushed over in the map, the Marauders map.
That's why they didn't talk about the Marauders.
But it's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting because they actually made it. They made it out of all the different passages they learned and figured and discovered in Hogwarts. Because Hogwarts is
cool.
full of secret passages and places that nobody
Yeah.
ever knew.
Yeah.
And they found every way out of the castle and inside the castle, which is interesting.
Another thing that I didn't like that they didn't
And they
mention,
still use it at the end.
that they didn't mention in any of the movies was because Harry won the Triwizard Tournament, the earnings that he got, he gave.
Oh, he got money.
Yeah.
So you would win hundreds of thousands of
Thousands,
galleons, like
yeah,
those
galleons.
golden coins.
Yeah, so what he did with that is he didn't need it. He didn't want it. And so he gave it to Fred and George. And they
To
used,
start their
they
shop.
used it to start their shop.
their shop.
The magic shop or
the
whatever.
magic
And that's why they were always so like
joking.
close. They got really
They
close
loved-
to him, and they loved him
yeah.
because
And
he
so-
invested on them.
He invested.
Did they pretty much drop out of school?
They did.
They did.
They
okay.
dropped out.
Yeah, because all of a sudden they're like, screw it, and they went in through all that
we've never
crap
been-
and
They did that on purpose. We were
fireworks.
never like.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
never been too much fans of school or education
something,
or
and then
something.
they
And
just-
so yeah.
I thought that was cool. I was like, they just dropped out. Okay.
But that scene is like amazing. The fireworks.
Yeah.
That was
I
cool.
know.
That was awesome.
Very cool.
And then there was some stuff also with like in the seventh one, the first part of the movie. They have the radio. There's just a list of names going on. Is that just the people that are dead?
That
like
have been
wizards
missing.
That have been missing. Okay.
Missing
And
or
so they
dead.
were
They
just-
And you have
everything.
those snatchers. They all of a sudden they appear. So it's just people just grabbing wizards and bringing them in.
It's like kind of people that find the ones that are kind of like against them, I guess, or
Yeah.
trying to like
so,
build,
so it's
build
their
the
army
rebel
that
theory.
goes
Yeah.
and pulling them. Okay.
Yeah,
And-
kind of like
and-
kidnappers and stuff.
Yeah. So that was pretty creepy there too. And it was funny. There was a nod there about like where they're reading about the Deathly Hollows. About something at twilight, and he's like, my mom says midnight or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, he's like,
they liked it some other
Yeah.
dawn or something.
Dawn. Yeah,
Well, he
they-
says twilight, and he's like, my mom says midnight, but twilight's fine. And I remember watching it in the movies. I was like, oh, Twilight had just come out in the film, and like it was just like a little jab at it or something.
I never,
That's the
I never
way-
thought it that
I
way.
never
but
thought
That's
about
the
it
way
that way.
that
I
is
saw it.
hilarious because
Because at
they
that
do
time,
make fun
J.K.
of-
Rowling would said that the writing was really bad in the Twilight
Mm-hmm.
books. So I thought that was a little jab. And then Ron says,
probably
Twilight's
was.
fine,
Yeah.
like.
No,
you know.
I never
It's
thought
good.
of that, but yeah, and I talked about this is that when we were in high school or like,
Mm-hmm.
even in college, like that was like the war. It was between Twilight and Harry
And I think
Potter.
that's why it's in
Yo,
here.
Even in interviews and stuff, like the actors would talk about it.
I know, which was I would get so frustrated, but yeah, I never even thought of
You
that.
didn't catch that one? It's
No.
funny the way Ron says it. And I got it immediately. So watching it in the
I didn't
theater,
think about it, but I guess
I
It
caught
would
it.
it makes sense.
it,
Yeah.
it does. It sounds funny.
It was,
just
it was
throwing
really
shade.
funny. Yeah, he did. And he's like, Twilight's fine. I mean, whatever. And then also Dobby takes him out and there saves him pretty much from there. And there's some cool scenes between Bellatrix, and she's actually a really cool character. I hated her at first, like when I first saw the movies, but then I liked the actress from
Sweeney
Sweeney
Todd.
Todd.
Sweeney Todd. Yeah.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna be
Helena
like,
Bonham Carter,
she,
yeah, she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Hermione. No,
She
no,
what?
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
ask
She's, like,
about,
biting
we
Hermione
didn't,
or
we didn't talk
something.
about Dobby.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Do you remember
Gollum?
what we asked?
What would you?
The question
What'd you ask?
about the gillyweed.
Now we're gonna ask them.
Well, now we know. Okay, so
You
already said
I
it.
know, I already said it.
Gillyweed.
Gillyweed. I know. So that was such a huge thing. How in book 4,
Mm-hmm.
the person who gives Harry the gillyweed
Was it
is
Neville?
not Neville.
It's not Neville.
It's Dobby.
It's Dobby.
It's Dobby.
It's Dobby, and people.
You call him Dobby?
It's Dobby.
It's
I know. I
Dobby.
called
Is
him
it Dobby?
Dobby for all my life, but it's
no,
Dobby.
In the book, they-
there's
in the
two-
movie-
Dobby has no master? I've always
No,
heard
Dobby.
He calls himself
No,
Dobby.
it's Dobby. No,
Okay.
there's two B's. It's Dobby.
Yeah, it's
That's like
English
$1
grammar.
It's
I'm sure it was
grammar
Dobby.
rules.
In grammar rules, there's
English.
2 B's, so it's
Yeah, if it's
B.
double B. It's
Just like-
it's
It's,
open or what's it called?
Yeah, so it's like the name Robbie, but with a D. So
I say
Dobby.
Roby.
yeah. If it was,
I say Roby.
Okay.
if it was Dobby, would be just one B, right?
No, but yeah. If it was Dobby, it'd be 1 B. But
So-
there's 2 B's.
Closed, open syllables.
Dobby.
Blah, blah, whatever it's called.
Dobby.
Okay,
I'm
everybody
sure I
calls-
heard Dobby.
Everybody
I
calls
know.
him Dobby.
I called him Dobby too, but
'Cause he
it's
calls
supposed
himself
to be Dobby.
No,
I think
he
calls
doesn't,
himself
and everybody
Dobby.
calls him
And I've
Dobby.
even heard
No, everybody calls him Dobby.
Bulbasaur. No, Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
Call
Bulbasaur.
Voldemort. I've heard him say that in the
They-
movie.
No, in the
I
movies
mean,
they all
it's
call
inconsistent.
him. No, they
Yeah.
all
They call
call
him
him Voldemort
Voldemort.
with a T
Yeah,
in
yeah.
every single film,
But-
and then like.
But I know
like,
she's
two-
confirmed.
It's because she
Confirmed
said it.
it's
She said it like
Voldemort.
2
There's no
years
T.
later, like in a
Yeah.
tweet. She's like, "Oh, it's French.
By the
She doesn't
way,
have a T." Like,
yeah,
girl, calm
that's
down. You've
fine,
never.
it's fine.
You never
didn't say-
com- you
you
never
didn't say
complained about
anything.
this.
I know.
Inconsistencies. It's okay. It's okay. It happens.
So
Movies.
Dobby.
But
yeah, Dobby.
he had to. So like for the movie, he was like that. What do you call it? It's a fancy French word. Anyway, he's our get out of jail free card. So it's like, oh, he could just teleport him wherever and do whatever and save him. You know, he's like the
yes,
genie.
I know what you mean.
So yeah,
yeah.
What word?
Do ex machina, like that word.
Like in films and stuff, where
Yeah,
it's
in
like
films.
like the time turner. Like
Exactly.
we're
Save
able to go back in time and fix things.
everything.
But we can only fix it like to save this animal,
Yeah.
not save Harry's parents.
Yeah,
Kinda like that.
I can't go that far back.
Bucky
We can't go that far.
We needed him. He
Bucky.
was vital.
Classic character.
We needed him.
Buckwheat.
Buckbeat.
Okay.
Buckbeat.
So that like that he had to die for. He was cool the way he saved him, but he had to die because if not, they can do anything. At
With-
that
I
point with him.
sobbed so hard
So,
when Dobby died.
It was pretty sad.
I cried and cried and
I
cried.
think, the first time. But again,
I still cry.
you know him from the books. You know all his backstory. He wasn't too vital. He was Chamber of Secrets, then came back for like the 7th one, I think.
In the
That's
movies.
it. In the movies. Exactly. So
Actually, in the books, there's a lot of stuff that they don't explain,
Exactly.
especially the house elves.
I know,
the
I've-
whole
kiss.
I've heard about that.
The
she had, like,
kiss
a club
is
or
completely
whatever.
changed.
So, yeah,
she had
so-
her own.
oh, yeah, I talked about
campaign
that.
to save the house elves, which
Yeah.
was called Spew,
The spew.
which everybody like hated because it sounded like.
She started. She's like, what about? She's like, I just started it just now. Like she just started like
Let me get some
nothing.
water.
Yeah, it was
Go for it.
an organization to like kind of protect house
to
elves.
protect house elves. Yeah,
and kind of like relieve them from slavery because it was they were basically slaves.
Yeah, and you didn't see that in the book, but
The
I mean in the
whole-
movie. But that's how Ron and Hermione
Hermione
first
kissed.
kissed because.
Explain, yeah. You
No, well, you can talk because I'm just gonna. I freak out because I love it.
explain. Go.
Okay, so in the book, they're doing that. So she's talking about that organization, and the first time is because what? Oh, because Ron says no. What about the house elves? Right? Need to go back to save them.
It's that we can't let them
We
die
can't let
for
them die.
our cause or
Yeah,
something like that.
and
And
so-
that's when she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love you.
What book
So
was that?
Let's kiss."
The last book.
The last book.
in the
Okay.
So she
that's how they
turned-
Oh,
first
she's
kissed.
still doing that house elf thing throughout the whole
the
time?
whole
Yeah.
the whole
So that the
book
reason that
series.
they like do this big passionate kiss is because Ron talks about how he
About-
wants to go
about
save
protect
the house elves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Save the Whales kind of.
Basically, that's what makes her like, okay,
Yeah.
I love you. Let's
I
kiss
know,
now.
but-
That's
and the way
Melinda's type of romance
Yeah.
right there.
No,
Let's save
Save
the cats.
Save
Save the
the
cats.
We're gonna get you a cat lover.
Okay. No, but yeah, that's
You need to find a cat person, man.
Person.
For
A
Melinda.
cat.
a cat
Alex.
person, man.
He needs to like.
If somebody
cats.
likes oh,
we need to tell Alex that he needs to
You
like
know,
cats.
you're recorded right now.
Shout out to Alex.
So then we
Okay.
have.
Melinda's future husband.
But that was funny. The 7th one, the part 2. So Dobby dies, and it was funny to me actually with the wizard security guards, which was pretty funny. So you go through all this school, and then you can do like regular jobs or anything. So how does that work? You graduate from Hogwarts or any of these wizarding schools, and then you're like, oh, I'm a magical accountant. And like that, like, do they work in the real world, or do they work in the? Or it's their choice.
It's a choice.
Okay.
They can.
They
But I feel like there's no college, right? Is there always in college? They just kind of go out and they
have
it's kinda
a
like-
high school education.
They have a
and
high
they're
school.
good.
They have a
Good.
high school education, but I think also based on their owls
Owls,
and
I
how
was
they
gonna
do,
say,
like
depending-
what their
so the
forte
owl-
is,
yeah.
they'll go into that, and then
okay.
it's
Like a
more,
trade
it's
or
more
something.
about a trait that they learn through experience.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, so
kind of
you
like you don't
see,
go to
like-
college for it. You
Yeah.
are taught on the job.
You experience.
You experience it,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting.
So that was funny. They had security guards, which is with wands, and they're like shooting, which is actually kind of funny, I thought. But and also, I guess I'm jumping a little bit. There's a lot of cool stuff that happens. They're hunting for the Horcruxes, right?
Yeah, you're saying it good every time.
Okay,
I know.
I'm
I'm like, it
have
sounds great
I have
every
to
time.
Pause. But they're doing all that cool stuff, and then like Neville, I'm jumping up a little bit more because I was just taking notes as I was like, oh, that was a cool part. Neville like murdered 1,000 snatchers by like destroying the
scene
bridge. That was
ever.
cool.
I
That was
know.
pretty cool. I'm running
It's like,
away.
yeah, you and what army?
You and what army? I
And then they all come after. They all come after him.
After the shield like
He's like,
disperses or whatever.
And then the other thing that's really funny is that they choose Seamus to be the one that explodes it because he's the one that always
He's
gets
like
burst everything
West
into
McGonagall,
fire.
She's
Oh,
like,
that
we're
was
gonna
funny,
need a
yeah.
fire.
We're gonna
and
need
lots, an explosion.
No, what's it? The other word? Pyrotechnics.
Oh, pyrotechnics.
We need
Lots
somebody
of
good
it.
at pyrotechnics, and he's like,
And
oh,
Seamus,
maybe.
aw.
She's the one that would always explode
Yeah, even in the
everything.
first- in the first
and
movie.
he said it. He said,
In the first movie,
I don't
that
need
he fire.
fire.
He gets a fire in his face.
Yeah.
I don't need to catch stuff on fire. It just happens.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, in the
And
first
then
movie, I remember he
it's
was doing a
everything.
spell, just blew
Yeah.
up, and that
When
was
Guardian
him, right?
Leviosa and he catches the he catches the
It wasn't an Eye of Newt, something,
Yeah.
la la la.
No, that's another one.
That's
but he also
another movie,
he
yeah.
did
Even with
with
Guardian
the feather.
Leviosa,
When Guardian
the feather
Leviosa, the
explodes.
feather catches on fire.
it's a cute little nod to the fact that they went back to that. And
one of also the coolest like scenes in that one was McGonagall and what's that spell? Locomotive or
oh yeah.
What was that spell?
To who?
Locomotive.
To the statues that they're brought to
what
life.
Was the spell? Locomotive. But there's a loco.
Something locomotive.
Yeah, something like that. It was bringing them to life.
That scene was.
And I like when they bring the words that they use are like
Latin.
It makes sense, right?
Sorry, another like really cool fun fact. J.K. Rowling actually graduated in linguistics.
Okay.
And that's the reason a lot of her like
our Latin roots.
Yeah, they have Latin roots, like all her like
spells and
and charms and names of animals and creatures and stuff. It's everything has like a root from like
a Greek or Latin
root. So that's and like everything, even names, even Voldemort. I think like the name Voldemort. French. Yeah, but like it stands for like death or something. So it's really really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they had this cool battle there, and you had some people who died. Right, so there was that girl that loved Ron. She was
Lavender Brown.
Yeah, Lavender Brown. Really?
Lavender Brown is
one of the twins.
Her name's Lavender Brown.
Wasn't it one of the twins?
No, and the twins I think survived the end.
The Padma and
Padme.
Padma Patil something.
Patil. Yeah. Oh, those twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Indian.
Lavender Brown was the one from the 6th.
That they changed. Because
they changed
in the first film she was black, and then when she got lines, they made her white.
They made her white, and a lot of people complained about that fact.
The thing
is, they didn't think she was going to be like a speaking part or a big part,
so they gave it to a black girl.
When she was a little girl, when they were like kids in the first year,
it's
like a little black girl.
And even in Chamber of Secrets, when they're with the roots, the mandrakes. You see Lavender Brown and she's black.
She's a little black girl.
Yeah. And then when
hence the name Lavender Brown.
Lavender Brown. It made
racist.
sense. Whatever.
We're being recorded.
That wasn't me, J.K. Rowling.
No, but yeah, and then when they gave her speaking lines, they changed it to a white actress.
Well, I think that's really funny because there's also like a lot of controversy that went on during the 5th one the 4th one when Cho Chang came out.
Cho Chang.
Okay, so J.K. Rowling gave her the most
Asian
name there is out there, and people complained when she was Asian in the movies.
Yeah,
they're like, why isn't she white? We always imagine Cho Chang white.
Her name's Cho Chang.
Her name is Cho Chang. The most generic, I don't know, like Asian name there's for a Chinese girl.
Yeah,
like a Garza.
It's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing to have an actress diverse.
But I thought it was really interesting. Like she's like, I try to make it the most obvious that what ethnicity she was. Like, there's no way out of it. And people complained that she was an Asian.
Wow,
I was gonna
I had a question. I was going to ask you about that one, and that
really
answered
funny.
it.
About what?
No, about that.
Right when you said the lavender, it reminded me of that.
Of her people being upset about her character for some reason.
Her being Asian, and she's such a pretty girl. So
she was so pretty.
That people were upset that she had kissed Harry or
that
something.
She kissed Harry. There was an Asian.
I think it was that.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
I think they're just mainly upset girls that were in love with Harry.
I think that's mostly where it came from.
They have a love interest in Hermione.
So then
which make no sense because they're like brother and sister.
In that whole battle there, you had, which was really cool on screen, because I haven't experienced the books.
At Hogwarts.
Yeah, you had Lupin and his wife that were
Tonks. She had the name.
She's a very Tonks.
What's her last name?
Nymphadora Tonks.
Oh, she says, "Don't call me
Nymphadora," and then she turns into like a little evil.
Her hair turns red. She's like, "Don't call me Nymphadora."
What is the? I forget what she is. She some. Oh, never mind. The thing is, she can transform her features.
She's not an anime guy. She's something else.
Every time you say that, is she a nymph?
A nymphadora.
An anime guy, like a guy who likes anime.
Anime
guy. Every time you say
anime guys.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. So you had them that passed away. And then you had Ron's brother.
And how they die.
They're like Fred. He has a name.
Fred died. Yes, and because you can tell because they show the shot.
And George is the one without the ear.
Screwed up ear. Yeah. George had gotten hurt.
So it's so sad. One dies and the other one doesn't have an ear.
No.
It's all broken.
That was really sad. They're all crying over him. That was really sad.
It makes me sad because when I was rewatching, I think it was Goblet of Fire, and they start fighting after they put their names in the goblet. Yeah. And so when they start like wrestling with each other, one of them says like, "Oh, I'm gonna rip your ear out" or something like that.
It's like foreshadowing.
I'm like, "Oh my, it's foreshadowing."
Foreshadowing it actually happens.
That's cool. Yeah. So you also had one person they introduced, I guess, also a little bit back is Ron's older brother. Their older brother,
Bill
right?
and
Ted.
Charlie. Can you name all the kids?
No.
All the
Weasleys.
kids.
Bill,
So
Charlie.
okay, so I'm gonna do it from
Fred, George,
George.
Ron,
Do it from
The
the
nerdy one.
Jin.
I don't
Curly
know.
hair, curly hair, curly hair.
Curly hair.
Nerdy. That everybody hates.
everyone hates him.
Was he in the book?
Percy.
Percy.
Was there?
Yeah,
When
Yes.
were they?
He's like, I'm a head boy.
Did
I'm a head boy.
I'm a head
the
boy.
guy that introduced them to their chambers.
And
in the
then I'll
first
have you know,
episode.
I'm a head boy.
The little boy's like, I'm a head boy, and then he's
He was
the
a
one that
super
talks
nerd.
to the fat
and also
lady on
yeah,
the,
and in Chamber when
Yeah, because they all disappeared
The
by the
Chamber
end of the
of
movies.
Chamber of Secrets
in Chamber
when
of Secrets, he's the one with the messy curly
and
hair.
he
Oh, yeah, I
finds
remember
Crab
him.
and Goyle. He's like, what are you guys doing out here? And then he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, what are you doing out here? He's like, I'll have you know, I'm a head boy.
I'm a head boy.
He said it
That's
any
all he ever
chance.
talked about.
Yeah,
I'm a
any
head
chance he
boy.
could get.
Oh,
He's
and
like,
he
I'm a
actually-
prefect.
He kind of like gets estranged from the
From the
estranged
rest.
from the family,
From-
and they don't
Oh, really?
like
in
him
the
for a
books
while.
and
Yeah, in the
stuff?
books,
Oh.
he does a lot of. He's just rude. Like I don't know. He
He's
supports the
very
ministry
conceited.
and
He's very
doesn't
conceited.
doesn't believe the family and doesn't support their views on stuff.
And I loved how.
But then he's okay.
Speaking of the Weasleys, I loved how they were like came from humble like backings. They were
Like
they
they're a
weren't
huge
rich.
family.
Like they
they're
weren't.
a poor.
Love-
what's
Yeah,
it
they were a
called?
poor family.
I love them.
What is
I think of all time, one of my like top like 3 favorite characters is Mrs. Weasley.
Oh,
Oh,
I
she's
loved
awesome.
her.
She's
I-
like Bellatrix too.
she's amazing.
Not my daughter, you B word.
B word.
No, if you
Best
okay,
thing
so
ever.
Mrs. Weasley is
She's
the book and film adaptation
Yeah.
of Perla's mom.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
my mom is Mrs. Weasley.
Exactly.
Shout out, mom.
Shout out, yeah, Mrs. L. She is the most loving. She is just like what you see on
In
the,
Mrs.
in the
Weasley,
book,
that's her
and
mom.
yeah, and in the film, that's exactly Perla's mom. To the
But
hair,
Mexican.
to the Mexican version.
She even looks like her, right?
She looks like her. She has the same hair. She feeds you until you can't eat anymore. Like
That's
she's
awesome.
just Perla's mom.
Yeah.
So just see, guys,
so
when
cute.
you're like
Yeah.
seeing her, like, oh, Perla's mom.
I loved it, and Ron always eating too. That was hilarious. So,
Yeah, the ongoing joke.
yeah, the ongoing joke. So like,
Do you ever stop
Do
eating?
you ever stop? What? I'm
Why-
hungry.
It's
I'm
like-
hungry when I'm nervous.
I'm hungry.
It's
Every
like my
time.
son. My son laughed at that because he likes Ron. Well, he liked Ron. He's like, "That's me," because
That-
like he's just
aw.
eating. Because it's my son. That's all he does is eat.
Yeah. Oh, cuteness in the first movie. He's like with 2 chicken wings.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the gift that I like shared on
Oh,
tweeted,
yeah.
and
He's
I'm
like,
like, I don't think everybody likes Costco food samples. It's like Ron eating. Super cute.
Yeah.
Super cute.
So the Weasleys were good. I'm gonna call from San Antonio. I don't know why. And you had. So yeah, and he got the sweater, that ongoing thing, like the with the big R.
Thank
The
you.
initial, and then Harry gets one too.
And Harry
really?
gets one.
Yeah, he
Happy
gets an
Christmas,
H.
Harry. Happy Christmas,
Happy
Ron.
Christmas.
And he
That's-
wears it.
And he
right?
wears it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Ron
he's
wears
super
it. I
happy. He's
mean,
like,
they're-
one for me.
They wear
They're-
them.
He's
He
also
had never gotten a gift,
A gift,
before.
so he's also
and then
really
for-
amazed at the fact that he got a
And
gift
for
from somebody else.
yeah, he
yeah,
had
the
never
first
gotten
one.
gifts before, and for like this straight his new friend's
Yes.
mom to like make him
Make him
something with love.
Yeah.
Like a very personalized
I
sweater.
love that.
Very, very sweet.
I know what we're all getting next year.
I wish.
With his new skill.
KSM, I know.
That's awesome.
That'd be so funny.
You know, put exclamation mark.
And so then you had, and so with the Weasleys, you had the you named the family, but
Didn't get to
oh,
Did
also
we didn't name them. Okay, Ginny, Ron, Fred, George,
she was the only girl.
Percy.
Yeah, the only girl in the
Charlie.
Weasley
Ginny,
family in
Wait, did I say?
in like generations.
Oh yeah,
She's
wow.
the first girl Weasley to, because that's why she was so like protected by everybody and
Yeah.
like by her mom and dad and stuff. She was the
There's
only.
some funny stuff in there.
Yeah, it's
A lot of funny stuff. Yeah, it's cool. I love it. I love their whole relationship there. Then
Was
you.
it the Half-Blood Prince where they kiss Harry Potter and Ginny?
Yes, a
Ginny?
horrible.
that was
awkward-
the
the
most
kitchen.
awkward.
awkward kiss
I was
of
like,
all
whoa,
time.
where did this come from? Like, these two never hang out, and boom, they're kissing
They
in
didn't
the kitchen.
develop their
In the-
relationship
not in the
in the
movie.
movies.
In
In
the books,
it's
you-
really good.
yeah.
You get to see how they became friends. It's because they never showed those the Quidditch scenes. So
And they also did.
I love
Ginny
that.
was
Ginny ended up being an
she was
amazing
the
Quidditch
best,
player.
Like, Quidditch.
I like that they
Ginny-
showed-
Ginny was the best.
She
Quidditch
became
player
like
in the
captain.
team.
She was a captain.
In the fifth movie.
I know.
She
Texas.
became a super
In
awesome
the,
She
I
was
think,
the best. Yeah, she
I think
was
in
the
the
best.
fifth movie
She
they
became a
actually
professional
showed.
Quidditch player.
Also, shout out Oliver Wood. He was my boyfriend.
Oh,
that?
most beautiful! The guy from the first one that showed him
He
Quidditch.
came out in the
rules of
first
Quidditch.
two Harry
Everybody
Potters.
is in love with him and will always
Oliver Wood was my
be in love
childhood
with-
boyfriend.
My childhood.
He was beautiful.
The most beautiful, like Scottish.
And he was
it
all his Scottish
beautiful
accent, but the way like
or Irish
he was
guy, I
an
don't know.
old dude. rude, and he was like talking to Harry like.
Hey man,
Like he was nice to him. Like,
He's really sweet.
no,
he
he was supportive, and he
everybody
he
was
trained him.
everybody was in love with him. And then he came out. He made a cameo in the last
one.
one when they're flying in the middle of the war, and he goes, "Come on,
Yeah.
that's him in
That's
the
cool,
room."
man. That's cool.
He's the one leading the people.
the charge.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Oliver Wood.
So yeah, what was cool in the fifth one also with the Quidditch and stuff, he took on and was able to. Now they're the big kids on campus. They're watching all the little kids come in. Him and Ron at one point in the hallway.
Yes,
And
yes.
then like them teaching the other people, the other kids about Quidditch and like all that stuff, which is cool. They're the leaders now. Even Ginny too.
But
Like how you're saying,
I wish they would have like included
Done
more
more
of that.
with
Though.
Ginny. I know. I hate.
There's
that they
there's
didn't
so
do
much
that.
content. There's
If
so much.
if you guys once you read
One day, yeah.
the books, you'll see like the relationship.
The way the relationship
really nicely.
evolves
She
between them.
evolves it really nicely. Like
Yeah.
she does a
Well,
good
I
job.
like that they were friends. Like so, like it wasn't
They
like
were just friends for years.
yeah.
and then
It
all of a
wasn't like
sudden
an
they're
awkward like oh let's kiss in the kitchen with.
Mm-hmm.
It was
the thing
not
is,
like
she
that.
became a very strong, feisty, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of girl.
You never see that?
You
No.
never saw that. She
You
was
didn't.
awkward and quiet, right?
In the
Yeah.
books, she was this strong, like
Independent girl.
girl who she made
And they kind of
herself.
tried to do that in the fifth when they made her really strong and that she could like do really powerful like
the
spells and
Patronus-
stuff.
Yeah, she's the one that like starts doing all the spells
Powerful
and stuff.
spells. She
Yeah.
was really good at spells, really good
And
at
everyone's
Quidditch.
like,
really,
oh, Ginny. But yeah, in the books,
and she
you
was-
see that she's strong.
like a small girl, tiny little girl, because she was supposed to be
Yeah.
very petite,
Yeah.
but like very strong, like like very powerful
Mm-hmm.
witch.
But even while like Harry flirted with Cho or like obsessed over Cho, like
They
where
showed
was
a little-
Ginny? During all that?
Well,
there.
during that time, she okay. So growing up, she always had a crush on him, like kind of like, oh my god, he's famous.
From the very beginning.
And when she was little, she had a huge crush.
Don't crack the
Ginny?
trick.
Ginny, because
Okay.
you can see it even in the first books where she's all
her
shy and runs
eyes-
away when he
and
comes
then
out.
the second movie also where like she's like, "Where's my jumper?" And then she sees him and she runs
and
away.
she's like, oh no.
she had
and runs
always
away.
had that like my
Little
brother's
girl
like
crush.
best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, little girl
that
crush.
Yeah.
But then she well apparently in the books Hermione talked to her and she's like, you know what? You can't just obsess over this boy forever. Move on.
And
Try
she
different
moved on.
things and
Yeah.
meet different guys, and that's when she started
so
having
she has
boyfriends.
and she
dating.
like
Get more
does Dean.
confidence.
And she,
Yeah,
got,
she
and she
starts
gained
hanging out with
confidence, and she basically got over him for years.
Uh-huh.
And then
Then they
it's-
reconnected
They
later when they
reconnected.
were
You know, they kind of
more
related.
mature or
They were
whatever,
both, they were both more mature, and they're both like really strong and
Uh-huh.
feisty individuals and stubborn. They're both really stubborn, and they developed kind of like they became interested in each other. And out of nowhere, he just decides to kiss her, and they're like, "Oh, we're dating now."
Yeah.
So what's the age difference between them?
Like a year?
A year.
Yeah, because he went to the school and then she couldn't until the
The
next
second year,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Chamber of Secrets, she comes out.
Yeah.
Do you remember she's the
She's
one that
the
gets
one that-
kidnapped?
yeah.
She's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
By the
Because it was her first year, so
Yeah.
they're just a year difference, not a big difference.
Yeah.
But they didn't develop her character well in the
They did
film. So
not.
she is amazing in the books.
In the
She's a pretty like
that really hurt me that they didn't put her Quidditch because they put Quidditch in like
at the end.
Just about
And-
every.
and all the
Well,
Yeah,
because it was
just
really
about-
hard to film. Also,
It
was.
they
Yeah.
said they
I'm sure it
didn't want
was.
it. It was really uncomfortable for the guys.
You did see how what
I
you
can
did
imagine
you
now.
did see
because they would have like bike seats, but it was still uncomfortable.
yeah
for
bike
them.
seats are uncomfortable. I
That
rode
position?
today.
Okay.
I did.
Um,
I did. It was fun.
Oh, Jim rides bike.
oh yeah,
I
for
do.
like 30 miles.
Yes, it
likes
was. I just go real slow in my car for 30 miles. No, so then you had so wrapping up on them. You have Severus. You find out he's really the hero, like pretty much, right? And then you have the Patronus. You see like the fawn or the deer. His
stag.
Yeah, the stag is his dad's, and also Harry's, right?
Yeah, they end up having the same Patronus.
The same, and then but Snape and Lily have the
Have
same
the same-
one
because of the love
there's
he
love
had for her.
And then there's that really interesting line where Snape's like pretty much like crying. He's like, "Can't do this, Dumbledore." Like he was the one that kind of convinced him or told him you have to
protect
protect
him.
the kid, which is a complete twist in the whole story, right? And we talked about that. But the whole thing is like you're raising him like a pig to the slaughter or whatever. Like how can you do that? Like
Yeah, and
he's
a lot
gonna
of people
die.
just hated
Dumbledore
for that, because he was and that's another thing.
He never told him anything. A lot of
never
important
told-
things, details that he could have like saved him a lot.
That was my thing,
Death
is that
and-
the adults never told Harry anything, and
They could have
he
protected him and-
he had to figure out everything and get into danger to find out what they weren't telling him. It would have made it so much easier if they're like, "This is what's happening." This
and there
is
would
your
have been,
future.
and there
I
would have
mean,
been less deaths. And
he would have been like, oh, "Okay, so this is what I need to do." Like it was
Maybe he had to earn it and go through it instead of just telling.
well,
hey,
they
we're
were
gonna be-"
trying to protect him.
They were trying
which
to protect
was-
him. But
I don't think it was the best idea.
backfired.
It's like Dumbledore had this plan that was going to work. Like he was like making things happen, even after his death, kind of thing. Like he knew it was going to be okay. Maybe I don't know, but I thought that was really so. People kind of hate him for that line or hate him for that whole plan that he had.
Yes, a lot of people don't like Dumbledore because of when they thought it's because, and that's the thing.
He knew everything.
Throughout the books, everyone loves Dumbledore because he is kind and
like
he
This
untouchable,
wise, amazing wizard,
But
you know?
he is amazing. And then when you find out that he knew everything that was going, like he predicted everything that was going to happen, and that he let this child go and suffer through that, a lot of people like turned on Dumbledore at the end, which I mean, I got mad.
Yeah.
I was very
Like
mad.
the thing is, well, you also get to see Dumbledore as a human and not a perfect person.
Yeah,
he's not
He
perfect.
wasn't perfect. He made lots of mistakes, and it even tells you that in like the history of it in the book, and it's gonna tell us in the Fantastic Beasts sequels.
With Grindelwald.
Well, we'll get to
I
see.
haven't seen the movie yet. But
Well,
I'm
But that's
excited
not.
to.
That's not. A, that's
No,
not a
but
spoiler.
so there's gonna be 5 films, and it's gonna go into Dumbledore's
yeah.
and Grindelwald's story, and
Yeah.
like the first Wizarding World War, and it's gonna explain a little bit
That's
more
something-
about
so
his
that's
childhood
something-
and
it's
how
not
he
a,
grew
it's
up
not
and
a
stuff.
spoiler, right? We talk about Grindelwald and
Go for it.
Dumbledore because it came out in the books. in
Well,
the Harry
everybody
Potter
should
books.
know.
It's not a spoiler, right? Well, to like them that he hasn't seen Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, go no.
So Dumbledore
I mean, you should know
and
this from Harry
Grindelwald
Potter.
were BFFs. Like
They were best friends.
they were best friends. But
Can you explain who?
Grindelwald
Yeah.
is
Gellert Grindelwald.
Grindelwald.
It's so hard to say his
I know,
name.
it's real hard.
Well, they were both kind of like they grew up together. They were both friends, childhood friends. And well, the story is that Dumbledore had like this little crush. He had feelings for this
so they thought
guy.
Grindelwald thought
Oh,
they were
yeah,
just
yeah.
BFFs.
They were just friends, but
really
Dumbledore,
had
secretly
secret
was
feelings
in love
for
with him.
him.
And the thing is, they grew up right. They were still best friends, and Grindelwald ended up being evil, like turned evil.
He
He's the one
turned-
that he was kind of the first Voldemort.
And it ended up where like they got into this fight and he accidentally killed Dumbledore's sister.
Oh, that's the whole thing they mentioned. The
whole
sister, I
story about the
remember, yeah.
sister.
So that's
And then that's what leads to the Wizarding War, and it leads to like the battle between both of them, which was like basically good and evil.
These two
And
huge
that's
wizards.
and then I'm gonna spoil it. I mean, Dumbledore wins. He beats Grindelwald, and he is casted to like Azkaban. He's in there forever. And the thing is, that's kind of like what won Dumbledore his status. He became famous for it. He became famous for this battle
beating
where he
Grindelwald.
beat
Grindelwald
which was like basically the Voldemort of their time,
of that time, right?
Wow.
of the 50s.
Of the 50s, yeah. And
Okay.
you're gonna see that in Fantastic
Well,
Beasts.
actually, 45. Funny story. Like, so the Fantastic Beast, kind of like timeline's gonna take place kind of during World War One,
Oh wow.
at the same time as the
Yeah.
Wizarding War. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be really cool. And it ends
To
at
see how it's-
1945,
Okay.
same as World War One.
Oh, World War II, right?
World
45?
War II, yeah, because
Yeah.
World War One is not
The
15
10
to
is-
19.
Yeah.
World
Oh,
War
50
One is
oh, that's
15 to
true.
19,
World
and
War
then
II.
World
So
War
it takes
II is
place
41
during
to
World War
45.
World War Two.
And then Dumbledore,
1941 to 45.
45,
Yeah, sorry.
Dumbledore was born in like the 1800s or something like that, right? He's over 100 years old.
Dumbledore?
More than I don't know which one's right. He's over.
He's late 1800s. I'm not really sure.
1800s. I don't know the
He's
exact.
like 200
He's old.
I
He's
looked
like
at
200.
his-
Yeah, he's old.
Wikipedia.
He's old. I don't know the
Yeah.
exact date.
Really interesting.
And for him having also about the Deathly Hallows, he had all of them were his then, right? Pretty much.
At one
He
time,
had-
he had the
possessed-
power of impossessed.
Oh, he
all of them.
possessed all of
three.
them. Yeah,
Wow.
and so the Deathly Hollows are.
the other one.
Wait.
It's quiz time.
quiz time.
She hasn't seen the movie. It's not fair. She hasn't seen them
So
yet.
there's 3 in the Deathly Hollows. It is a triangle, a line, and a circle.
What are those 3 objects?
I don't think she's seen the movie.
I
though.
haven't seen that. Those are the 2 that I have
Yeah,
not
she hasn't
finished
seen Deathly
watching.
Hallows.
Well, I
We'll
watched
watch
the
it.
summary.
The summary.
Well,
So
but you read the
it's
summary.
The elder
Should
one.
say something.
No, the video went by real fast.
And I just saw I just saw the movie. So
Okay, you
it's
just
like
saw the-
Elder Wand. Then you have the Resurrection Stone,
Yep.
and then you have the invisibility
Invisibility
cloak.
cloak.
Yeah,
Yes.
which Harry has, and then
And the whole story of the Deathly Hallows.
yeah,
Pretty
which is
With
cool.
the-
I
with the
love that.
brothers.
I
Amazing
love that animation.
animation.
The
This
It's
oh man,
very
I
cool.
love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
very kind of like what's his name? Director Tim Burton.
Oh, Tim Burton. Yeah, it's very Tim Burton.
It's very cool.
Very,
Yeah, it was
very
great.
great
So
animation.
I like the way it all wrapped up and ended, and I like that battle at the end. The whole just Voldemort, is he gone completely?
That was another like controversial thing, right? is that when J.K. Rowling, she's already
Melinda, say
What?
it.
when J.K.
It kills me.
I know when J.K.
I hate this ending so much.
I know when J.K. Rowling wrote the book, she wanted it where when Harry killed Voldemort, that he wanted Voldemort to die
as a human.
Oh,
so
okay.
like she wanted his body to drop, like she wanted him to die as a human. And in the film, when Harry kills Voldemort, he like magic, like he disappears into ashes.
They made it super cinematic, right?
It was very cinematic.
It was cinematic.
Yeah.
But it was not.
It was
how
not
it was supposed to.
Yeah, so like the point in the book was that he died as a human, and it didn't happen like that.
That his body, his body
Like,
just
he was
drops.
supposed to just drop, and
like a normal person.
And yeah, when everyone saw it, they're like, "What's up? What's this? What's
Why
happening?"
does he look so cool and like ashy? No,
I know, no,
that was not supposed to.
Yeah, it was
happen.
very controversial.
He was supposed to just like drop dead and be a piece of meat, just like on the floor.
Piece of meat.
Just like dead.
Yeah, just
body,
symbolic
you know?
of like what he had always been. He just wanted to
Always
be
afraid of dying.
always afraid of dying, and so you're supposed to see that, and you didn't see it.
That he died
Oh,
as a
that would have been
human.
interesting. That would have been a lot more interesting. I guess in the
Very-
books it was very
Well,
interesting.
they just had to make it cinematic, and they also battle like crazy and are flying and stuff, and none of
Yeah,
that
that
happened.
didn't happen.
The what?
The
The
cool
what?
like when they're flying and they're
When they're
mashed
flying
together.
and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
none of that happens.
None of that happens. It's
Yeah, it
too
looked cool.
cinematic.
It looked
It looked cool, but it was
It
too
looks cool
cinematic.
to watch, yeah. Like for
But
someone who hadn't read
knowing,
the books,
but knowing that it's not how it goes.
So who else died in that battle? So I mentioned those people, but anybody else important that I missed?
everybody is important.
Everybody
Jim.
died. Okay, sorry. So Mad Eye Moody died earlier when they were trying to transport in the beginning of Death.
In the beginning,
Order.
Hedwig.
Hedwig died. He got the
Hedwig!
Avada Kedavra,
Sadness.
and that was pretty sad too. And my son actually, he saw the end. He kind of skipped a little bit through because I wanted to get through them, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go play computer now," because I put on the second movie. So he came back and he's like, "Oh, they're gonna fight," and he's like, "I'm afraid Harry's gonna die." Like he really didn't know what was gonna happen, and so he saw the ending of that, and he thought it was cool. You know, Aaron. Shout out Aaron. Alyssa dropped off at the fifth one, so I'll go back and watch those with her. But yeah, he didn't know what to expect. He was really into it. So I want to go ahead back and read those books with them. That'd be really cool.
And they're at a perfect age to
I
be
know.
reading Harry Potter.
It's
Like that is the age that we were when we read Harry Potter.
My son is going to turn 11.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
my
Harry
daughter-
Potter's age.
Give him the book. Give him the
I
book.
know. My
Happy
daughter
birthday,
is
son.
9. My
Yes.
daughter just turned 9, and so they're super into all this stuff.
That
yeah.
is the perfect
That is
Oh,
age.
perfect
Ethan,
age
my
for
son
them.
Ethan, I put it on Twitter. My son Ethan is, what is he saying all the time? Oh, Expecto Patronum all the time, all over the place with the flashlight.
Oh,
Expecto
that is so
Patronum.
cute.
That's Ethan, my 4-year-old, gonna turn 5.
Cute.
And then my daughter is going, they had this toy that levitates, and she's using the Force.
Oh yeah, that tweet.
And
That tweet
Aaron's
was
just
awesome.
Avada Kedavra.
He's like, I'm
So
just.
someone is Slytherin.
Yeah, that's Aaron, yeah, but they love it.
He's
They-
like, I'm
they
just a
really
proud
enjoy it.
dad.
Yeah,
I
I'm pretty
know, I
proud.
know.
It's cool.
That
it's
is
cool.
really cute.
And I'm getting into it because again, I wasn't the age that you guys were to appreciate.
old.
And I was because I was already like
No, well, when
in
you
college,
were, when the
not
first book came
experiencing-
out, or the first film is when we were reading the last book came out when we were in 8th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in 8th, or what grade are we in? I remember reading
When
it
did
in
the last one came out? In 2009?
The movie or
The
the
last-
book?
No, the
A
book.
book.
Probably
It
2000.
was in 8th grade, no?
2008, 2008. Oh, 2007.
2007. Because I remember being in the bathtub
Mm-hmm.
because I would read a lot.
Dude, I remember I like went everywhere
You
with
got
that
a
book.
nosebleed, right? Reading
Oh,
it.
yeah, but- oh,
No, because I remember.
Yes, I got a nosebleed because I was reading it so intently.
Yeah,
like,
in the
for
last
hours
book, she
and
has blood
hours.
in the.
Oh my
in the-
gosh, it's all dramatic.
Yeah.
No, there was like one drop.
Nah, no, but I
Or like
remember-
2 drops.
I remember
But it was
reading-
because I was like nonstop. Like we were traveling, we were going anywhere. We were going to
Everywhere.
Mexico.
I know. I remember reading the last book, like reading the
so
very
good.
end. I was in the bathtub because I just wanted to be by myself. So like I'd close the curtains and I'd just like be reading and reading in the bathtub. It was so dumb. That's how I read the last book.
Yeah, so that I can't wait to read them because I haven't. So any thoughts on Harry Potter? Anything else that you want to add for
Claudia,
this?
go,
A lot of cool
Claudia.
stuff.
Your favorite part. Your favorite parts
one
of Harry
fan.
Potter.
Yeah, or name your favorite movies or like rank what you've seen.
I really like The Prisoner of Azkaban. I agree with the first one, The Sorcerer's Stones. It's like
The magic.
the magic. It introduces you into the world. It's super eye-opening. And I do see that they do get darker. Disappointment that he ended up with Ginny. Like, I always rooted for Hermione, but whatever.
Once you read the book,
Yeah, I
It'll
guess I
change.
can
It'll
see
change.
that,
It'll change.
yeah.
It'll change.
And even
Yeah.
Harry was like, "No, she's my friend," kind of thing. Like they were
like,
just
she's like a
friends.
sister.
Yeah.
The sister she never had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And-
That was it. Excited. You guys are all nerds. I wish I would have read the books. Like, you know.
I know, me too.
They're always just so thick.
I like.
I hate long things.
There's like the fonts is big.
They're really like short though.
But the
They're
font's so
short.
small.
No, they're
big.
big.
And that's why
The
you
first
read it
3 you
fast.
can finish in a few hours.
We need our
you can
reading
read the
club.
first 3.
We need our reading club during lunch. We're just saying, oh,
You can read the first 3 in a few hours, honestly.
You can do literally the first 3 books in 3 days. Like read 1 book a day.
Really?
You can totally do
Yeah,
that.
in a few hours, just a couple hours. It's really they're like this.
It's the
I'll
first
check
3
it out.
books are fast. You can
The
get
first
through
3.
them.
Okay,
So-
and then the 5th it takes a while.
The
It took me-
fourth,
the fourth, I mean, takes a while,
days.
and the
Like,
5th
it
takes
took me
even
a long
longer.
time to read.
what's your favorite book? What's your favorite storybook
My
movie?
favorite book and movie is Prisoner of Azkaban,
Oh, okay.
and then close is Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, okay.
Movie because just it's
Yeah.
so much magic
liked
and
it.
it makes me
It was a
because
good movie.
even after all this time, guys, that's a Harry Potter quote.
Okay.
Okay, so after all
Was it
this time,
Hamilton?
no,
Nope.
Oh, sorry, always.
yeah, after all this
Thank
time,
you.
you missed it, Perla.
Sorry, I was like thinking about like what I wanted to say.
No, yeah, because even after all this time, like I'm 20. Not gonna say because I'm sad now. I'm in the 20s. I'm in the
right.
20s, and I'm still watching Harry Potter, and I still feel this magic and this happiness that I felt when the first time I watched it with the first movie. Like it makes me so
that's
happy.
cool that you have that because you were there, you experienced that, and you can always go back to that. And that's
And
kinda
I feel like Harry Potter when
Yeah.
he's like, "You're going home." He's like, "Not really. Your Hogwarts is my home." I'm like, "That's mine. That's my home too."
that's your first one. How about you, Perla?
Oh, that's hard for me. I do love the 3rd one, but I remember, I don't know why. I remember I loved the 6th one. I love the 6th book because it went into a lot of detail.
Order of the Phoenix,
yes.
right?
No, that's
Half-Blood
Half-Blood
Prince.
Prince.
Half-Blood
Sorry,
Prince.
Really?
The thing is,
Oh,
I remember
the book.
I
Wait,
love
your
the
favorite
book.
book or movie?
I don't like the movie.
That's one of my least favorite movies because the book and the movie are so different.
different.
They're so. I think
So
it
the
has the
thing
most
is-
differences, right?
Yes, it has. I think it's where they changed the movie. The movie's the most. The book is so good. It goes into a lot of detail, a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and you learn a lot of history of like, especially Voldemort. Okay, I want to tell this story before we finish. So you get to learn Voldemort's backstory. So you get to learn why he's the way he is, why he can't love, why he is evil. So basically, I know this is really long. Okay. Well, his mom was she was a wizard and his dad was a muggle, and she was a really ugly. She came from a family of really ugly people. Like she was really ugly, right?
Really?
She was
They
just ugly.
describe
They
it
were
like that?
no,
Okay.
it doesn't. No, she describes it
They didn't have
beautifully with
noses.
no, with beautiful words. But like she was just not an attractive girl, right?
Uh-huh.
And she fell in love with this beautiful boy, but he was a muggle, but he was like mean.
He was
like
a
he's like
jerk.
you're ugly. Like I
don't
don't
wanna
like
be
you.
with
I don't want to
you.
be with you.
Yeah.
So she used a love
potion
to make him fall in love with.
Do you remember the name of the love potion? Because we talked about this and I still forgot.
Amorticia, something like I don't know. Oh well, she uses a love potion to make him fall in love with him, and then she runs away. She runs away with the boy, and she has a kid, and then she's like, you know what? I don't want to keep using this like love potion on you. You know, I'm gonna, get him off the love potion, and he's gonna love me for me or whatever. And he doesn't. She takes him out of the potion. He realizes who she is and what happened, and he runs away and leaves her. And she like is destroyed, right? And she like kind of like dies, and she leaves him on an orphanage, and that's why he's an orphan.
Yeah.
But then that also explains the reason why he can't love,
is because he was conceived out of a love potion,
That's
which
what
is
makes
really
sense.
interesting.
And
it
yeah,
makes
It was
complete
a
sense.
loveless
It was a loveless
conception.
marriage,
Yeah.
loveless conception.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
a loveless like made baby.
yeah,
And I think that's really interesting. So they explained that whole story in the sixth one, and I adore that.
Yeah.
I loved learning that, and I think
and you
it's
also
very-
learn more about when he was in the orphanage and like how
you learn him growing up and how he kind of like he's kind of
he was by himself evil, yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
when bullies would like be mean to him, he would like kind of like do mean things back. He's
Do
like,
it.
that's how I can like defend myself. I can do mean things
Yeah.
happen to people.
Yeah.
And so I love that book. I don't like the movie because they cut out a lot of good stuff, but I love the book.
Well, just something you mentioned about the orphanage. You have that scene when Dumbledore comes in and like Professor X style goes and, and like kind of
Tries to bring him over, yeah.
So that's pretty much like Hermione. She had Muggle parents. How did she get introduced to the wizarding world?
They give you the letter once you turn 11 that you're able to go to.
just to random kids who are worthy of it.
Who are born
Who are-
with wizards
with
with
wizard powers.
powers.
with powers.
okay.
Right. If you have
So, like,
powers, you'll
they
get
know,
to
and
The
you get that
wizarding world
letter.
knows.
Yeah.
Like,
And so her parents, do they know she's a wizard?
They know.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And
What?
the obliviate.
Oh, that was very sad.
Until they believe.
Did she restore
does,
the
she does,
memory?
she does restore the
okay,
memory,
they
they
didn't
go
go into
back.
that. I
Yeah,
remember-
they didn't do that.
J.K.
They didn't
Rowling,
do that in the movie.
no, they didn't. But
No,
J.K.
they
Rowling
didn't.
explained that she
Yeah.
went back in
And-
Australia and found
yeah.
the
I
parents.
thought that was
Oh, yeah, they were in
one of the saddest.
Very
Oh, they were Australian?
No,
Oh, they were
she
Australian?
she
Found-
said She sent him off to Australia.
Oh, okay.
So they could be really far away from everything.
Yeah, I
From
thought
all
that
the
was one of
fight,
the
the
saddest parts. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, just erasing yourself from your parents' memory from their life.
It's so sad.
And you haven't seen
But
that.
she was
It's super sad.
acting to protect her.
To protect
parents.
her,
Yeah,
because
because
she
they were
knew the
getting
war that she
killed,
was
yeah.
going into.
Very
Yeah.
sad. Very amazing. But yeah, they did know, and they supported her, and they loved her for it.
So the sixth book is your
And
favorite.
movie?
How about movie?
Movie, I think the third.
The
Yeah.
The Prisoner of Azkaban
pretty
is
good. Good movie.
pretty. It's a different take on, and you get to see that it turned darker, and they've
Yeah.
grown
And
up.
also-
And that's when Daniel
They
Radcliffe
were-
looks the most beautiful. He
That's
looks
okay.
so handsome.
The way Daniel Radcliffe is portrayed in book in movie 3 is the way he's
Harry Potter's
described in the
described.
books.
With
So,
crazy messy hair.
Yeah, and like sassy,
Yeah, he
and
had
like
that
you really
thing.
get more.
The thing is-
and that's another thing you don't see
Physically,
how
he looks resembles the most
the way
of
he's
Harry
described
Potter,
in
the way
the
Harry
book.
Potter's described in the
That's
book.
another thing that
And the rest, he like cuts his hair short, and then he's all weird.
I know the next book he comes out. I mean, the next movie he comes out real weird. No, but
I like the long hair though.
No.
But
Well, no, that was like in
he's
4,
supposed
but
to have
in the 5th movie, he
just
came.
has
He
short
cut his
hair.
hair. It was real weird.
And the thing is, he's always supposed to have messy hair, and they try to cut it and make it short.
It
And it
didn't
grows
work.
from one day to another because he's a wizard.
Yeah. No, that's another
I
thing
didn't know
in,
that.
in the
Messy and
books
really hair.
that they didn't go into, but Harry's real sassy. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I
he's-
saw that in the movies.
He had
It
like
was-
he had
He's
like
kind of a little
snarky
jerk,
remarks. He
like
had
his
snarky
dad.
remarks. Yeah, no, but in the movie, like he had so many like fun, like these witty remarks in the books that you don't really see in the movies.
Yeah, you get a little bit
A
of
little
them.
bit, but most of it he's like a sad teenager,
He's a
like kind of
sad,
depressed
like mopey,
teenager.
yeah, like crying.
But in the books,
He's just like
very,
feisty
very
all the
feisty.
time. Yeah, he's super feisty.
Very feisty.
Jim, favorite? Oh, you can't say movie or book.
But
What's your
I
favorite
remember
movie?
well, I like Prisoner of Azkaban, but seeing these, like, I really like I don't know. I can't say. But I always like Prisoner of Azkaban. That was my favorite movie because when it changed, like just the tone and everything. And I know you don't like it, but I like a lot of parts from Goblet. And then I like, because I had never seen 5, 6, and 7 more than once. I had only seen it that one time, and I recently saw them. So, I mean, I like it. I like the whole series as a whole. I enjoy them all. There's not like one that I'm like, oh, this is kind of boring. You know, there's
They
nothing
all
like
have
that.
their like own like scenes or moments that are like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did she come up with that?
I know. Well, that's
very
like the
net-
whole series. Like that was in her brain.
She
That-
conceived of that. It's so crazy.
It was cool. Well, there's one thing, I guess, that finishes up the whole Harry Potter talk a little bit, but there's something that Perla mentioned in on Twitter, something of a little bit of a story that you all brewed up.
What?
or conjured.
When did that ever happen?
Can you talk a little bit about your Harry of the
Wizards of the
Caribbean?
Caribbean.
Wizards of the Caribbean. Okay,
It's not a weird thing.
We can
People write fan fiction.
fan fiction. We can talk a little bit, just a little bit. I'll give it like
Until
a
it gets
premise.
published.
I'll
Because they don't want it.
I'll
They don't want it to
explain.
get.
Don't want to
You
spoil
can get
it.
the-
or
We don't want
anything.
anyone
Yeah.
to steal it.
You can-
Copyright Perla Melinda
Copyright.
2005.
Okay, you can you can explain, but I'll give a backstory on it. So during what, middle school,
We
high
were
school,
in 7th
middle school, we
grade. 8th grade?
we loved
8th
Harry
grade. We're in 8th
Potter.
grade. And
I had an obsession, a crazy obsession for Harry Potter. Melinda had a crazy obsession for Pirates of the Caribbean, and we
Go
just
through your
thought.
pirate phase with all the ruffle shirts.
No, she like her. You needed to see her room. Her room
I
was like
told you
completely
guys,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's still like that. I haven't
You haven't
changed it.
Okay, it was completely Pirates of the Caribbean, and so we loved it so much, and we're like, you know, what are the what if we like made our own like storyline or like somewhere between what was it, a book,
And-
4 and 5 or 3 and 4, where
And
Harry
movie,
Potter,
yeah.
where Harry Potter meets Captain Jack Sparrow.
This is before, mind you, we knew what fan fiction was.
We had no idea what
didn't
fan
know
fiction
in
was. We're
8th
like,
grade
let's
what
just
that was.
let's just combine them.
Let's
It'll
go-
be
we
awesome.
invented fan fiction.
Let's have them meet.
Let's have them
coined the
meet.
term
We coined the term
fanfiction.
fan fiction.
But yeah, we came up with like
no, wait, that was in 2007.
I don't know.
It was
But we also made
2006
a
or 7.
really cool like logo thing.
We
where it was
had-
like
I need to see that logo.
the Pirates.
We need. I tried to find it.
It was the Pirates of the Caribbean skull with like a wizarding hat. The sorting
It was
hat.
a sorting hat, and then behind the crossbones, it was one sword and one wand. It was
It's-
so
and
good.
our friend Mike. Shout out to Mikey. He actually drew it because he's very artistic, very talented.
We told him our vision. We're like, we want this, and this.
and we gave him pictures of everything. He
We
just
gave him
combined it.
pictures, like clip art that we that we made
back then.
back then. Yeah,
And-
but it was okay for
Okay,
2007.
now you can
it was really good.
kind of explain. a little
No,
bit
well, you
more.
described it. The premise was that
They-
Harry and Ron met Captain Jack Sparrow
through.
through. So they met at the. So they used the Bermuda Triangle.
because it's a mythology and like in the sea.
Sure.
So it would
In
be
the
perfect
sea,
for Pirates of the
right,
Caribbean.
right.
Yeah.
So that's how
When
they.
There's
when
some
they
sort of
enter the
spell
Bermuda
that-
Triangle, somehow they land
Bermuda
on
Triangle.
the shore of Hogwarts.
Right. Don't, you guys, it's
I'm
cool.
not. And I remember bloody hell.
Yeah, so that's how we introduced. So Ron was like, bloody hell, it's Jack Sparrow, and Jack Sparrow was like, Captain Jack Sparrow.
You've done that at
we
work.
would-
Yes.
Well, we would just imitate the way they would like kind of introduce themselves in the movies, kind of
Yeah.
like I'm Harry Potter. You know how they repeat their name twice,
Yeah.
and then we're like, oh, Ron says bloody hell a lot.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell, and Captain
We
Jack
had a
Sparrow
lot
was
of-
Captain Jack
Yeah,
Sparrow.
we had a lot of their mannerisms. I think for 8th grade, it was pretty
pretty
good
good.
fan
But it just ended up being like a paragraph or two pages. Or
It was a few pages
It was
long.
really
It was a few
short.
pages. It was
Where
real
is
dumb.
it?
What?
Where is this?
It's somewhere in my room in
Okay.
Roma.
in
I,
Melinda's basement, and we can't find it.
I tried to find it before coming, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't. I looked for it, but I'll find it.
But now
before
you
the
have to
break.
do a Pirates of the Caribbean one once the new one comes out. Or did you already do that?
We haven't
we
done one
never
because
did.
somebody
What?
isn't into Pirates of the Caribbean.
The first one's okay. I understand. People love that.
So
Yeah,
like
Harry Potter.
yeah, short.
That's it.
Long story short, we love Harry Potter
We've
for
loved
a long
I
time.
guess we can keep dragging it on. Who
We
would
can.
be-
Let's
who
do a
would be-
quiz.
Who would be who?
No.
First, before that, she's like, no,
Who would be
no.
what?
Who would be who? What character would?
Do you relate the most to?
Yeah, would you be?
Oh, let's start with Melinda.
I don't know, but esta Claudia's probably gonna say I'm Voldemort.
Okay, Claudia, who do you relate
Daddy,
to?
When I was in high school, probably Hermione. I was a know-it-all. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was me.
know it all. Like actually,
I don't know. You
You're
guys-
Probably
Harry
Melinda
Potter.
too. Melinda's Hermione.
You're Harry Potter.
I'm Harry
She's
Potter.
still Hermione.
You're still, yeah,
Hermione.
you're still know it all. Yeah,
You're
Hermione. Very smart.
All the
What about
time.
you, Perla?
You have to
Whatever,
be-
I'll take it.
I think
I love Hermione.
I think I relate to like Luna.
I was gonna say Luna.
So weird.
I don't think you're that weird.
I don't know me that well.
She's pretty weird.
No, what's because I think like me in middle school and high school, right?
Dude, we were really weird. Y'all don't know us, but we were super
but she's
weird.
also like so kind and
You
so,
She's
always
very
say
kind.
you were cool in high school.
No. We
Like,
were
I
super
think-
nerdy. I'm always saying we're super nerdy.
yeah. Well, we did. Okay, we need to talk about that one later. Our Constitution song.
Oh, I
We
talked
memorized
about
the
that.
preamble
I
to
well, I
the
told you guys,
Constitution.
right, how in my 18th birthday that they made me president and
We had an inaugural
we
like
did the inauguration.
for Melinda. We made her president.
No, you never
18-year-olds.
said that.
Yes, I did. Remember?
We have pictures.
You guys were telling me about your crazy stories. I'm like, oh, when I
I
turned.
have a real.
I'm like, when
crazy story.
You guys remember the day when we went to Starbucks
I became
to
the
James?
president.
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my 18th birthday, Claudia made me like a scavenger hunt, and then
Claudia made you-
Perla, I'm sorry, I've been doing it. I'm sorry,
one and the
I've been
same.
doing it all day. Perla, yeah, she.
We do look kind of alike. We're both so beautiful.
Same thighs.
Same thighs. Same thigh power. Okay. Sorry.
So yeah, that was my 18th birthday. It
was
fun.
pretty
It
awesome.
sounds like a blast.
And for my
It was super
No, I'm sure it
fun.
was
I became
good.
Wait, no,
president.
we made
and
her-
they tied the Constitution to the bottom of the
in a
pool.
bottle or something. We put it at the bottom of the pool and she had to fetch it. Kind of like
That
very
was fun.
intricate.
That's pretty cool.
And we unrolled it and we were reading kind of
And-
like the address, kind of like the swearing her into office.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Crazy stories.
That's,
Crazy
That's what
teen
We've always
stories.
loved history and just
Yeah.
we love history.
Well, we're running out of time, but we got one
let's
quiz.
do a quiz. How many questions do you guys want to do? Because I did a few.
You did 30 of them.
Okay, so this is just
not that
super simple quizzes. I mean, super simple spells that you can figure out basically by the name.
And by the movies
Like
that you
what they
already know.
do?
Yeah, just think of the Latin root.
Think of the
word.
Latin
Okay.
root, and you can probably figure out what they are.
Most of these.
Okay.
So we define what they do.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Expecto Patronum.
It creates it.
Pushes you back.
No, it does the you use.
She just said the word.
Yeah, I know. You use your Patronus, but your to protect you. It's a protection spell against like Dementors and things. That's what
Yeah.
they
It's
use in
the
the
only.
movie.
It's the only known defense against Dementors.
Dementors.
Yeah, and Expecto Patronum actually is a spell that means I call on a protector.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and they
that's
use their
pretty cool.
happy memory.
I call it a
They use like their
yeah.
happiest.
The happiest
They
memory.
have to
Yeah.
conjure the happiest that they've ever felt,
Yeah.
and that's the way that they
on
can
every
conjure
time.
their Patronus.
And then Harry can do this massive, awesome one, and then his Dumbledore's brother as well, right? In the last movie.
Oh yes, yes.
So
Okay.
sorry.
Finite incantatum, right?
What?
Finite
Incantado.
incantatum.
Oh,
It makes something small. I don't know. I don't remember that one. make something small.
Small and enchanting? I don't know. Enchanting? Encantado?
Well, finite means like end, right?
Oh, infinite, like finite.
It's a counter spell.
Oh,
So when
okay.
you're dueling with someone, that's a spell. It's a counter spell that you can do. Okay. Periculum.
What?
Periculum. Okay, so fourth, Goblet of Fire. So when I forgot her name. Floor. When she is being brought down by the drum, he does it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it conjures. What does it
Like
do?
A firework. Oh, like help.
Light?
Help.
It's red. Yeah, it conjures this like red sparks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, periculum. Okay, Expelliarmus.
Oh, to
Disarm. To disarm.
Ooh.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Petrificus totalis.
It petrifies them.
Yes.
Lumo solem.
Light blast. I don't know.
This came out in the
Flashlight?
first one. Think of the devil's snare.
I don't remember the devil.
Can I say it?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Go for it.
It like brings sunlight, kind of like
It's
Light.
a super bright
super
light.
ray of
okay.
light,
Super
okay.
bright light.
kind of
yeah.
like sunlight.
Yeah. Stupefy.
It pushes them back, or like what is it? Like just a blast of
Yeah, a
power
blast of, like,
boom?
Yeah,
Freeze
they
them.
lose their
Yeah.
wand.
Yeah,
Or
it's,
the- well, no,
it's
they
a
just-
stunning spell. Yeah, so
It's a
it'll,
stunning spell.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it'll,
yeah.
Okay, so Vera Vitro. This came out in 2.
The what? Say it
To
again.
grow something? Vera Vitro? It's like to grow the plants.
No, think of McGonagall.
What does she do? She turns to a cat. What does she? I don't know. What is it?
So it's transfiguration. It can transfigure something.
Oh,
And then when
yeah.
it turns the mouse into a cup.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
so that
yeah.
was she
and
did
it's
it.
like ugly.
Yeah, with the
It's
tail.
ugly.
and
Yeah,
Ron.
she did it
I
the
think
right
it's
way where she
Ron.
did it to an
Or
actual
something,
glass,
yeah.
but it transfigures something. Alohomora.
Ooh, that's easy.
Alohomora.
Think of Hermione. Aloha more.
Hermione's-
It opens doors.
Yeah.
It unlocks windows and doors.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oculus Reparo.
Oh,
that
fixes
one's
the
cool.
glasses.
Yes.
Yeah. Eyeglasses. Yeah, it fixes eyeglasses.
It's a real
Reducto.
specific.
That one's
Think
easy.
smaller? That
No,
seems
Reducto. I've heard that one.
right. Redact.
Reducto.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It makes objects into like ashes.
Oh, okay.
So it'll destroy something.
Oh, okay.
Immobilus.
It stops people from moving.
Freezes you?
Yeah, it immobilizes targets. Okay, I don't know what I wrote.
Serpensentia.
Yeah.
Turns you into a snake.
Really?
You conjure a snake.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
snake.
It's the one that
it's a
Draco
snake
does in
summoning.
the second
Yes,
one?
yes, he
Yes,
does. On
it's
the,
a
on
snake
the,
summoning spell. Yeah. Wingardium Leviosa.
What is
Yeah,
it? Leviosa.
levitates things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Levitation charm. Ridiculous.
Oh, that's good.
Funny stuff.
From the third one.
Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
when it comes
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it changes, transforms something.
It's
For the Bogart.
It's
Yeah.
a Bogart banishing spell.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, specifically for that? For
Yes.
the Bogart? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's for the Bogart.
Yeah. Bombarda.
Very good.
I don't know. Drop
Bombard?
some.
Third one.
Bombarda.
Prisoner of
Like a
Azkaban, you should know.
Bombarda.
She
yeah.
she helps release
Yeah,
Sirius Black from.
it
from the prison.
it does
Oh.
small explosions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It makes a little bomb like
Bomb.
when explode.
Yeah.
When it's like.
Okay.
that's right.
And that's when Hermione
Diminuendo.
becomes a.
Last one. Diminuendo.
Diminuendo?
Diminuendo. Diminuendo.
I don't know.
Diminish.
Diminuendo.
Dementors.
No, you were closer with
Diminish.
diminish.
Diminish. Destroy? Destroy
Disappear?
It makes something smaller.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
Diminish. Cool. That's
Okay.
the last one.
And well, this is the 3 unforgivable curses.
Oh,
you guys
yeah,
remember?
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
That's
remember
right.
them? Because we talked about them.
Imperio,
Avada
Abracadabra,
Kedavra.
and Crucius.
Crucio, yeah. Good job, you
I need to
guys.
study. When did they
Like
mention the
B.
curses in
In the
movie?
The 4th.
In the
Fourth
fourth
one.
The
and
Goblet
in
of Fire.
the
Oh, yeah.
like sixth and the seventh and yeah.
But they first introduced them in
When they wanted-
Goblet of
That's
Fire.
when I
Goblet of
learned
Fire
about
when
it.
the Moody
That's right.
explains it.
Fake Mad-Eye Moody.
The
Fake Matter.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barty Crouch.
Yeah.
Jr.
What is
Crouch
it?
Jr.
Yeah, with the tongue
What's the
thing.
tongue thing?
Oh, but he became a Death Eater. They're all about serpents and snakes.
Yeah.
That's kind of their death
What's
mark.
their death mark?
Do you know what that? Yeah,
That
their death
snake
mark. Do you know what it looks
in
like?
that
Moves-
medical
yeah,
thing.
It's
It's
a
like
snake
a-
and then it moves.
In a-
and stuff.
in a-
And
Snap?
what's it coming out of?
Infinity?
It's coming
I
out of
don't know.
something.
A wand?
A skull.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
With like a serpent coming
But
out.
it had like a stick, no? Like a stick.
Which was the
and then
wand, I
snake around
guess?
it.
No, like the serpent
no,
is
it's
just
a
coming
skull
out.
coming out of the mouth of the
Really?
skull.
There was no stick?
No.
You're thinking of the.
It does look
You're
like a
thinking
little
of
stick
the,
though.
The medical
The
one.
medical one. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
Yeah, but anything else you want to add about Harry Potter?
Do you guys have any questions about Harry Potter?
I asked all
You
my
feel
questions.
like everything's answered. Do you have any doubts about anything that you ever like saw that you're like, oh, maybe it's a kind
wonder what
of
happened.
book that we didn't know?
Nope.
I think we explained everything.
I think we pretty much answered every question that I had. Just one thing. How old was Voldemort? When did he?
Some.
By the end of it, he was because he was born in.
Yeah, like was he hanging around with? He was before James Potter and all them.
Yes.
Yes.
Like okay.
Yeah.
Around the same time of Moaning Myrtle. So like in the
Of Moaning Myrtle,
he was
yeah.
like 50 some.
Yeah.
He was not too old. Like 55, 60.
Yeah.
And the ghost, they can live also. Like everybody can move on. Some people can stay.
So the way ghosts work in the Harry Potter world is you have a choice when you die. You either are gonna be a ghost and you're never gonna go to heaven, or
Or you go to
anywhere,
where your
or you go
afterlife
to
is.
your afterlife. Yeah.
Or you can
And so if
choose.
you choose to be a ghost, you're gonna be a ghost for all eternity,
Yeah.
and can never change that.
Wow.
So that's really intense too. Like if you would
It's
choose
a
to be a
hard
ghost, it's a hard
choice, yeah.
choice.
Man, Myrtle was kind of annoying. I remember in the Chambers.
Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah. She was the oldest. Fun fact or trivia: she was the oldest actress playing
She's
a high
super
school
old.
student.
Oh, okay.
She's
She's
like
like
30, 40,
5 or 40
35
Really?
years old playing like a 12-year-old.
A 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And I loved how they went back and they got like the tooth of the in the Chamber Secrets to
The
destroy
basilisk.
Horcrux.
The basilisk.
The basilisk, yeah.
That was cool.
That's
I like
very
that callback.
Because
It's like,
there was
there's
only,
a skull.
because there
still
was
there.
like how they explained, there's only a few ways to kill a Horcrux or
Yeah.
destroy a
No,
Horcrux.
destroy her.
and then Ron does speaks in the snake.
In Parcel
Parcel
Tongue.
Yeah, he's like Harry talks in his sleep.
Yeah.
Well, they made it weird in the movie, but they explained it that he developed throughout like sleeping
Learning,
with him for so long and picking up things that Harry does.
Things from Harry. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I mean,
I like Ron.
like he was
I like
sleeping with him
Ron.
all the time. They were
Yeah.
they
And
were bumping.
They were
Yeah,
for
they're
yeah,
best friends.
that's
7 years. Yeah.
And I love his belly at the end.
They gave him a
gave him a
beer
belly.
belly.
That was so funny.
Rude.
And they didn't
That was
talk
rude.
really at the end, but that was
They didn't
cool.
have him talk
And then
either.
Draco, you saw, like, yeah, they were in a tough spot. Like, his parents were like, screw this. At the end, they were way in over
They
their
just ran
heads.
away.
They
ran
left
away.
it like
They were
peace
in
out.
over
Yeah.
there. They were scared. They were
They were
cowards.
scared.
terrified.
They
The
didn't wanna
Malfoys
die.
were cowards.
Yeah, well, at that
That's kind of
time,
like what it said.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
the
they were.
whole
No,
point.
that's their
They
whole
were-
thing
they were
from the
cowards.
beginning. Yeah.
at that time, I remember when they found out Harry wasn't dead, like all the Death Eaters taking off and leaving, and Voldemort was like, "What the hell? Everybody's like leaving me." Like they were terrified of Harry,
Yeah.
which was, I mean, and they're terrified of Voldemort as well.
I love
So.
Hagrid.
Oh,
Hagrid's
He
cool.
doesn't.
We
He doesn't
forgot
get
to talk
enough
about
like
him.
love.
enough credit. He's
like, he
such
doesn't
a
give
good
enough credit
parental person,
cool.
and he's the first
He
person that
did-
introduced him to the
To
wizarding world and
everything. That iconic.
Pierre's
You're a
mentor.
wizard, Harry.
Yeah,
Like, that.
He's an amazing,
You're a
amazing.
lizard.
Oh, and
All those
fun
memes.
fact: Robin Williams actually wanted to be Hagrid,
Hagrid?
but
He
would've
J.K.
been a good
Rowling
one.
wanted to emphasize that they all be
She wanted British
actors.
She wanted British people.
Uh-huh.
She didn't want like
But
American.
like Robin Williams really fought for it. He
Yeah.
really tried.
Wow.
He would have been great too.
he would
Yeah,
have
he
been
would have
really
been a
good.
good choice.
That actor's amazing.
He
Yeah,
did.
but he was
He
good.
did.
He
He
did
did
a really
Hagrid.
good
The way
job.
like
He
you,
has-
I read
How
Hagrid.
you picture him?
Like,
Because he's
I saw.
a giant, a giant.
I
big
wouldn't.
arms
I
and-
shouldn't have said that. Like in whatever.
All the time. That's all he's like. I should have said that. I should have said that.
In the fourth. Oh, best.
Yeah, keeps going back.
Oh, he's the best. So
Yeah.
cute.
But-
Hagrid, you combed your hair.
Hagrid, have you combed your hair?
He has like gel.
He has gel. You can see it. Oh,
Little gel and a little.
He's gonna
like,
go out with
Oh,
that
his
girl.
flowers.
The tall
The
lady.
tall lady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tall lady. But yeah, anything else about Harry Potter before we wrap up? Perla?
10 jelly donuts.
Yeah, Harry Potter. I love it. Yeah, it's good. I can't wait to go back, watch the movies again with my kids, read
Yeah.
the books probably, hopefully. So yeah.
No, I think I'm just like really excited to see what J.K. Rowling has for like the next films and the next books that she's gonna take out. Like we didn't get to talk about the Cursed Child and Fantastic Beasts and everything else that she's bringing from the same wizarding world that might not be Harry Potter's story or Harry's story yet, but you get to like know a little bit more about the history and stuff, and I'm very excited to see that. And we're able to live onto our Harry Potter world, like,
Yeah.
fantasy and like excitement of watching new movies every year
Yeah.
for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Very excited. And hopefully you do a podcast on this as the movies come out.
Cool.
Okay.
No. I'm good. Why are you guys all looking at me?
Go home. Oh no, you're home. Watch
Go to
Harry
your
Potter.
right here now.
Right now.
You got the last two that you got to watch.
Yeah, now I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're worth it.
And I forgot to say thank you. Thank you for letting me join you guys. I need to mention this. I'm a huge fan of your podcast, show, episodes, everything. I spent like 10 hours watching you guys.
Oh my
To
god.
prepare for this. I'm just like a huge fan. I love everything you guys talk about, and it's very insightful. And while I watch your podcast, I want to join in and just talk with you guys. You guys you look so friendly and easy to talk to, and I was very excited to be a part of this.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you, Perla.
And you guys are the best. You're even better person. I need signature. I need a picture and a shirt.
Well, thank you for joining us,
Yeah.
Perla. I'm glad we were able to make this happen. I know short notice.
I'm surprised you were able to make it happen.
I know.
So excited.
We've
Well,
been
we
talking
tried.
about it for months.
Months
I was
on
like,
Twitter.
we need to do this.
I
We
became
need to
friends
do
with
it.
them on Twitter. Until now, we're not. We were real friends.
Yeah, we haven't met. It's the first time we met Perla.
Yeah.
And that was good. I'm Melinda's buddy.
Such a dork.
So, no, it was fun. Good to meet you. Good to talk with you. And that's the show. My name's Jim.
Perla.
Claudia.
And Melinda.
And have a nice day. Or
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Woo, 2017.
2017.
Bye.
Bye. We didn't say Happy Christmas to everybody like in Harry Potter.
Happy
Christmas.
Like in Harry Potter.
They're my first podcast.
We went on for like 3 hours.
I know. You can make it again.
You guys don't get the hints. Oh my god. I really need to go pee.
Melinda, can you check your mic?
From
Talk
here?
normal from there.
What do I say?
Oh, perfect. You know what? Move it further back. Whoa, that picked up on everybody's mic.
Whatever. Bunch
Melinda.
of jerks.
Yours is pretty.
I'm always bullied.
That's because she's loud.
I'm the Hufflepuff here. Always getting bullied.
I'm the Hufflepuff.
I know.
I'm wearing my Hufflepuff.
Okay, check.
On purpose.
I wonder what Claudia is. Hint.
Gryffindor.
It's green.
I am Gryffindor.
Wait, no, we can't talk about this yet. Who is who? Wait,
I'm
who's-
not Slytherin.
Melinda, what are you? Does that make Jim a Gryffindor, or is he just?
Jim would be. I think he'd be Gryffindor.
You think so?
Is there a quiz that proves what we are?
Yeah.
There are.
On Pottermore.
We can do it. Yeah, but that.
We have a. I got mine. Mine was a horse.
Really, mine's an otter. I love my Patronus.
Aw, Hermione.
I know, like Hermione.
Sit normal again. Okay. Right there. Did you move it?
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna be cut out.
No, I checked it.
Check it out.
Okay,
Okay. I just didn't know what I looked like because I wasn't there. But how did I look sitting down? Because when I framed it, you were in the shot.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, if you know the spells.
Let's see, Melinda. Let's try it. Avada Kedavra.
That's
It's the first that came to mind. I'm sorry.
That's rude.
Expelliarmus. Go.
I
Melinda, react.
Expelliarmus. I'm not holding anything.
It makes you like kind of like.
Not stupefy.
Yeah.
Expelliarmus makes it disarms whatever you're holding. It makes it go away.
But it also makes them. Doesn't it also? Oh, never mind.
That's stupefy.
Because you're lit up now too.
Yeah.
And let's see if we're lit. Here.
We're lit.
We're lit, yo. Nah, I mean, let's see. Check 1, 2.